You can only be here for a couple reasons, right? You're either here to acknowledge your tribal chief, or you're here to flirt with the wise man. What is it that you want? What do you want?
Well, what I wanted was to ask...
Don't nobody care what you want, but they do care about what I want. Wise man.
My tribal chief.
Smarten her up.
Hi, it's the Cumbrian Outlaw Rick Markus, and I'm here on the Sit Down Marks podcast with Primo, DB, and AJ.
Welcome, everybody. Episode number 37 of the Sit Down Marks Wrestling Podcast. What's going on, everybody? How you guys feeling today?
Excellent. Woo. Episode number 37. We have surpassed episode 36. Here we are. 6 months
very
down the road. Would you really think we would be here this long, Dirty and AJ?
Yes.
I mean, I had hoped, we always have aspirations, right?
I'm surprised they hadn't kicked us off the airwaves yet.
That's right.
I'm just going to answer every question with one-word answers all night. That's going to be my thing tonight. It'll be an entertaining pod. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, let me introduce everybody who we got coming in here today. Let me start off with my co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself, editor and producer of the show, Primo. What's happening, brother? Welcome.
Not a whole lot. I would like to say that I am defending my Sit Down Marks pay-per-view championship. 219 days of your reigning defending champion will be on the line.
AJ, we got to do something, brother.
Sunday at Survivor Series. Not at Survivor Series, but during Survivor Series.
Yep.
Will we see a new champion come Monday, or will I have successfully defended it twice?
I've already sent you. I mean, I realize I'm breaking my one-word answer thing, but I've already sent you like a self-addressed return box to your house. So if you can just put it in there.
Just put it in there?
Yeah, and then it'll, it's postage is paid. Don't worry about that. Like it's fine.
Basically, the big four pay-per-views, Primo has to put up the title, so Survivor Series is coming up. We're going to be talking about that later on in the show. Let me also introduce to you the only babyface left on the show, straight out of your mama's kitchen. I guess the only one now, since we haven't seen the other guy in quite a while here, dropping those bread baskets. What's going on, AJ?
Where are my bread baskets? God
Where are they?
Damn it.
Where have they been?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Are you still the master of the forearm shirt?
I think he is. I think he is. Unless Minoru has something to say about it. So
he has proper forearm shots. I have the patented forearm shirt.
You do. There's a difference there. All right, big show here, boys. I'm excited. Joining us on the show, Logan Bruce, the promoter of mine and AJ, by the way, local promotion here in Central Illinois. God bless this man. He has brought wrestling to Central Illinois here. We love it. We're super excited to have him on the show. Welcome. He is here to talk about the big December 3rd show coming up. Logan Bruce, welcome to the show, brother. Thanks for being here, man.
Logan!
Thank you so much for having me. It's always good to talk wrestling, right?
Yeah.
It's good to have wrestling live back in our lives, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Like the show that I was able to go to your first show back, and it was pretty much the greatest thing ever, just because it was live wrestling again, and it was just a good night, just a fun, good night. I'm good at words.
Yeah, good night. No, yeah, it totally did. And maybe we'll go into it a little later, but a lot of good vibes all around. Just people so excited to be out and about. So
yes,
hopefully to continue that in December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're glad he's here because we're going to talk about that big show that we are one of the sponsors of the show. If you're watching right now on Twitch, first of all, thank you so much. We got the wrestling card up. It's called Back to Normal, December the 3rd, 7 o'clock, Normal, Illinois. Yes, if you're not from here, that is a town, Normal, Illinois, and we have awesome wrestling here. So we're going to talk about that later as as Logan is here to talk Iron Spirit Pro Wrestling with us, and so it's going to be a fun one here. So, all right, let's get rolling here. I want to thank our sponsors, Coastland Apparel. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off of your order, and I want to thank everybody listening right now on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, SportzWire, online radio Fridays at 6:15, right before the Thomas Bryce Show and throughout the week. Do us a favor, if you like the pod and love wrestling, well, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen for. Guys, 73 days from today, we're going to the Rumble. Logan, are you going to the Royal Rumble, man?
Going into the Rumble? Sure.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, it's not far from us, hey?
Where is it?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis? Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
St. Louis, January the 29th. It's a Saturday, actually.
Is it a Saturday?
Yeah.
I don't even know when things are. I just want to go. Like, someone just needs to point me when
we
it's
are
time.
going. AJ, we have tickets.
Yeah, we're already going. Yeah.
But I need to be pointed in that direction. And then I won't stop
I
until
guess for
someone's
you,
like,
it'd
AJ.
be west.
Yeah. You know exactly where St. Louis is. Your Cubs go down there and get destroyed every year, so okay?
Woo!
Oh! Whoa! That was uncalled for.
So I would like to
Logan,
point
who's your
out that
baseball team? Do you watch
who's your
baseball?
baseball team?
Well, technically, I married into a Cubs family, so
Okay.
we'll go
Same.
Cubs.
Same. Okay. Gotcha.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
I like going to the games. Let's say that I like going to Wrigley,
Yeah.
but I can't say I watch it on TV.
Well, like as much as I hate the Cardinals, it's always fun going to whatever their thing is called, Baseball Land or whatever it's called down there, Baseball Skid Row. I don't fucking know.
Outside,
it's
the
always
park
fun.
there? Oh yeah, man, that's awesome out there.
It's always a
outside
good
the park.
time.
All right, Pop of the Pod, man. It's no spoilers because if you know anything about wrestling, man, you know that it's been a big week for a certain guy that loves his cowboy shit, right?
That's right.
This is like the actual song. They've cut up the song. This is like the actual song right here.
This is like the Spotify version of it.
This is called Ghost Town Triumph. How cool was it to finally see Hangman Page get the win the title, boys?
Spoilers.
Everybody knows it already. They're already.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was on my local news here, I think, and I live in Illinois, so.
It actually.
Hangman Page wins the title. I'm exaggerating, but like it was.
I almost wrote a story on it.
It was all or everything, man. It was kind of one of those, young boy follows his dream. Did you watch Full Gear, Logan?
I did not. I was busy with family obligations.
Sure.
But
Wait,
I
you
wanted
have
to.
a life and stuff?
Yeah, man, I don't watch and also like, goddamn, like $50-$60 for a pay-per-view. Whew, that's rough, man.
This one was
I don't know
worth
about y'all, but
this one was worth $100.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was trying to get some buddies together to pitch in and just couldn't make it work, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, it was pretty awesome. We'll get to that later. Primo, what's happening this day in wrestling history and birthdays, brother?
Well, I will tell you, Dirty Bird, this day in wrestling history.
Whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby.
Let him know.
219 days.
This
All
is the
you
last
marks
fucking
out
time
there,
he's doing
you
this.
know that I am the champion. I have been the champion ever since WrestleMania. Can we keep it till the Rumble? Because if we keep it till the Rumble, then they're gonna swerve me and they're gonna get the title off me in the new Rumble format. So
yes, we are.
We won't have to wait that long. You've got another week.
But
we
yeah,
won't have
we
to
will
listen
see.
to this.
But 219 days, it has been so sweet, and let me tell you, I said it before in the past. The only way I could become a 2-time champ is to lose it once to one of you guys. So, maybe it's time, but I could also continue to be the longest reigning. So there's that too. Anyway,
I don't like either of these outcomes. Like at all.
We're taking this.
Neither of them are appealing.
All
this
right.
day in wrestling history,
I don't even care.
that's November 17th, for all you marks out there, 1996 Survivor Series, Rocky Maivia makes his in-ring debut against Goldust. Yeah, and he won with like a shoulder buster.
Is this like Tassel Rocky?
Tassel Rocky Maivia, yeah.
It was
his official like pay-per-view in-ring debut.
Dope.
Yeah.
So on that same pay-per-view, Bret Hart made his in-ring return since his defeat at WrestleMania 12. And the main event was Psycho Sid defeating Shawn Michaels to win the WWF Championship.
Psycho Sid should never be beating anyone, let alone Shawn Michaels.
The softball master.
He's got half the brain that you do.
On this day in 1997, it was an odd day in the Monday Night War history. WCW Nitro opened up with an NWO promo, but moments later they introduced their newest member, Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh, yeah.
But an hour later, and 1 hour later on Raw is War, brother, Rude appears to open the second hour as part of a promo segment with D-Generation X. Raw was taped, Nitro was live. Here's what happened. Rude was on a per-appearance deal with WWF, but in the 6 days between the taped Raw and live Nitro, Rude had negotiated a deal to join WCW. Why, you ask? There might have been something that we talked about last week called the Montreal screw job that he was sour over.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so
interesting.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
I forgot that he was on both shows on the same night. He's the only person to ever do that, right?
Well,
I think so.
up until that one female wrestler did it here recently. She was on AEW Dark and WWF Raw. Or WWE Raw.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can't remember her name. I apologize.
Logan, who's your favorite wrestler growing up, man? Who'd you watch? Like, who was your? Was you a WCW, NWA, WWF?
Yes, all the above. I have a terrible memory, but Shawn Michaels, and Sting. So I guess that's a little bit of both, right?
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
And then I was Attitude Era, Stone Cold, Rock, all those guys.
Yeah, when the world was watching, yeah.
Good answers.
Right.
Yeah. When it was cool it was
right.
When it was popular.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still popular.
When I was like 6 years old. Yeah.
Oh, so you were like Crow Sting, not like Surfer Sting. That is.
I was like, I started watching probably 95-ish, like when I was like 6 years old. So it was like Surfer Sting,
so
and then
same age.
When I was like really paying attention, it was Crow Sting. Yeah,
nice.
So he started like Transition Sting. That's his. Right. That's the in between is Transition Sting.
Guess what, AJ?
Yeah.
In 2002, we had WWE Survivor Series. It was the first ever Elimination Chamber match. Shawn Michaels had just returned, and he became the World Heavyweight Champion for the first time since '98.
Wow.
I remember that match, actually.
In his shitty brown tights.
Yeah, they were awful.
Yeah.
Which I wish Shawn Michaels is in my top 5 as well, but those tights that he wore that night were ugly as hell.
The old poo tights.
Yeah.
I don't know if that wasn't a narrative that I would have ever noticed those.
Oh, the poo tights?
If no one else talked about them, they probably would have just...
Right.
Oh,
yeah, the brown tights. And
he had just cut his hair like really short.
Yeah, now that was goofy. The bob. Yeah.
He had the bob and the poo tights.
Yeah, it was right up there with seeing him for the first time with no hair. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's still shocking.
It's still shocking. It is.
It is.
Sean's got to have hair.
Wrestling birthdays for this week, not just today, but this week. November 15th, 1994. Tegan Knox.
Yeah,
I like the Shining Wizard.
Yeah,
Tegan.
November 17th, 1980, which actually is today. Mercedes Martinez.
She's so old.
She's been on a lot of stuff lately, man.
Yeah, she's older than me.
NXT, Impact.
Yeah,
I didn't know she was that old.
Tournament, right?
Yep.
I don't know. She's so old. I don't even know.
November 19th, 1960.
Who?
Miss Elizabeth.
Oh,
Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth.
And now we're sad.
Sweetest lady ever in wrestling. Bring it on.
Speaking of November 15th, 1952, dig it! It's the Macho Man Randy Savage. It's his birthday this week as well.
I was talking about Logan. I was talking about this right before you joined us, man. Macho's birthday is almost like a national holiday. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody on the radio talks about it. You know, I mean, everybody knows who the Macho Man is, but like, I was listening to satellite radio. I listened to Lithium on there, like 90s alternative music. You know, this guy did the Macho Man voice all day long while he was DJing. Like, he's worldwide, man.
Probably a top 5 for me, for sure. Macho Man. It's total package, weird. You know, just.
It's weird that his birthday is like a mainstream like birth. Like, you know, if you look up like celebrity birthdays, you know what celebrities share your birthday. Like, I don't have any wrestlers pop up on my, like, even Stone Cold, who is shares a birthday with me. He doesn't pop up on my wrestler birthday or on my celebrity birthdays list for some reason. But I feel like Macho Man does pop up on people's lists who were born on November 15th.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. A little bit weird.
I'm the only celebrity that's born on my birthday. So.
No one is talking to you.
Randy Orton is born on mine.
Actually, there's no wrestlers, but it's just me and Woody Harrelson.
The only 2 people born in July.
And that is this day in wrestling history.
Thank you, sir. AJ, what's going on in the headlines, man?
News and notes and stuff. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this in my, because I was recently told that, for those of you who know me, I am a reporter for like my day, and I was recently told that my radio voice is getting, or my news voice, not my radio voice, is getting more pronounced. So I'm gonna do it in my news voice. See if you guys can notice the difference. Hold on, and then I'll go through all this, and then we can talk about it.
Sure.
Totally knows.
Seashores. Okay. I don't really do that, but
no.
From the Sit Down Marks podcast, this is AJ Harris. Randy Orton is set to create history at Survivor Series, breaking the all-time record for most pay-per-view matches in history. When RK Bro takes on the Usos, it will be his 177th pay-per-view match. This also happens when I'm doing the news. Surpassing Kane's record of 176 matches. It is another accomplishment in the Viper's legendary career, which also includes 14 World Championships, 2 Royal Rumble wins, and a Money in the Bank win.
And being on some of Primo's top 5s.
Many of them, actually.
Yeah.
Moving on. I don't do it like that. Former AEW champion Kenny Omega is rumored to be taking some time off after his match against Hangman Adam Page at Full Gear to deal with some nagging injuries through which he has been performing. According to one Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, the Best Bout Machine was working through his Full Gear match with a shoulder injury. Meltzer goes on to say Omega has also been suffering from vertigo inside the ring, forcing him to learn how to compensate with the ring spinning during his matches. His loss against Cowboy Shit will allow him to have a medical evaluation and take time off to heal. Jeff Hardy wants to bring back Willow. I'm just going to leave that there. I think that's
no need.
And finally, belying his tribal chief persona, Roman Reigns is the recipient of the 2021 Chris Gracious Award for Celebrity Wish Granting for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Reigns has devoted much of his time and efforts outside of the ring, spending time with Wish Kids and taking part in campaign promotions and fundraising. There's my voice. There's my
that's your
how
radio
fucking
voice.
Stupid is
like,
that?
You don't talk like that.
No, I don't.
No.
But I try.
It's just like you calmed down.
Yeah,
watered,
like you on a
watered
Xanax
down. Yeah, it's like I like it. It's like a not as fun version of you.
It's like the version that no one likes.
AJ on Kush.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that stuff? Randy Orton, Kenny Omega.
No, I'm glad you put that in because I actually had that in my notes in case you didn't talk about it. So I'm glad you mentioned that. The Randy Orton thing. Yeah, specifically. And then the Kenny Omega thing. I mean, he's been going for full speed. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Japan, and then the creation of AEW, so much needed break there for him, I'm sure.
It's just weird to think that he's been performing, I guess, for like 3 years, compensating for his vertigo in the ring. like, so he has to like change his physicality and stuff. How do you still have,
while still being one of the best?
Yes, he's had some of the best matches in history in the past 3 years,
That's
all
wild.
while doing it without being able to stand still because everything's all wobbly and spinny and stuff.
Right.
Also, Jeff Hardy, for you, I had put that in there. Primo wants to bring back Willow. What do you think about that? There,
I gotta be honest, I
champion
actually
friend?
did not know about that one.
Yep.
So I'm still processing that. I think that they shouldn't do that.
Oh, but they're going to. Like, so the rumored gimmick is that he, and not at all a copy of The Fiend and Bray Wyatt, he wants to do himself in like a Bob Ross type painting studio, and then have Willow be his Fiend version of. So it's not a ripoff of The Fiend and Bray Wyatt. Not that. It's totally original ideas.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, one more quick thing before I forgot. I just wrote this down like 8 seconds before I got on. NXT is set to go through another reboot because I guess the new reboot, NXT 2.0, isn't doing so hot in either critical reception or fan reception or anything of the sort.
Yeah. What I mean? They let go of 90% of the talent, so there's that.
So they're set to they don't know when, but they're set to like make it edgier. So we might see a boob or something in NXT.
Logan, when you get a chance to watch wrestling, what do you watch actually? If you got an hour, if you got 1 hour a week to watch wrestling, which one are you watching right now?
You can't watch your own promotion.
Even though it's better than
You're right. I can't. You're right. I can't because it's hard to watch. This is going to be like really pretentious and terrible, but I have struggled to watch wrestling for a long time, like on a weekly basis.
Okay.
I keep up with AEW, but I don't watch it live. I got to record it and fast forward to the parts that I don't like, or
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to watch the new NXT when it rebooted because, if it's something new, and I was like, I'm going to give it a try and see what's up. Because I like a lot of like character stuff. So if that's where they're headed, as opposed to the work rate stuff, I was like, sweet, I'll give that a try. Didn't really last.
Yeah.
So, I keep up with AEW and I watch it. Or I just watch a lot of old stuff, just random crap if I have the time.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. AJ, it's time for the movie of the week, man. Then we'll get this thing rolling.
AJ's movie of the week.
So after my book report last week, I looked up WWE. I looked up WWE Studios movies, and I found one called Oculus that I had seen before, but I didn't know it was a WWE Studio movies, and it makes no sense. There's no wrestlers in it. It does, however, have Karen Gillan in it, who is just drop dead gorgeous. So this movie, Oculus, is one of the better WWE Studio movies I've ever seen. It's basically about a mirror.
That's not a compliment, though. That's not.
It's a very low bar. But so it's a horror movie about a mirror where this mirror, this ghost mirror, basically haunts people and possesses people, and it kills things and makes them. It's a fucking mirror. Jesus Christ!
Did you make it to the end of this movie? Seriously,
I did. I did make it
so
to
you're
the
not selling me on, right? Making me want to
You're a
watch it. I'll
maniac.
give you that.
Oh my god!
You're a maniac.
It was really good. It has Karen Gillan in it. Like how bad could it possibly be?
Yeah,
Oh no!
yeah.
It's a
Find the
fucking
silver
mirror,
lining.
people. Just take it off the wall. Just there. Look, I solved the problem.
Yeah.
Take it off the wall and put a sheet over it.
That's hard.
I was so angry when I was watching this movie. However, it's still the best WWE Studio movie I've ever seen. So I give it my lowest rating ever, 7 thumbs up.
So,
Nice.
so this past week, when you had the book report, instead of making a whole new soundbite for you, did you hear this?
I loved it so much. I seriously went,
he goes, AJ's movie of the week or whatever. And that's I just cut that movie out, and I was just like, book report.
He sounded so excited too.
Ta-da!
All right, AJ, thank you for that. Let's get rolling here with the podcast. Let's talk about what's happening first. But first, let's get the shout out of the way. Justin from Charlotte, North Carolina, listens whenever he's mostly at work and listens whenever he can. But he says he appreciates us catching him up on wrestling every week because he's not able to watch it all the time. So thank you, Justin, for checking out the pod there over in Charlotte.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Thank you, Justin.
Catching you up.
All right, let's talk about what's going to be on the show here today. Logan Bruce is here, the promoter of Iron Spirit Pro out of Normal, Illinois. He's here to talk about the big December 3rd show here shortly. So we're going to also be talking about AEW Full Gear reactions. Saturday night's main event from right after when the Mega Powers were formed. And then towards the end of the pod here, we're going to bring in Rick Markus to talk about his big show coming up this weekend. First, before we get going with the indies, Primo, let the masses know where they can get that Marks merch.
Well, Marks, you can get the merch such as this Christmas mug here. You can go and stun Christmas, baby. That t-shirt that AJ has on, the Sit Down Marks Established 2021, or this hoodie, Sit Down Marks Podcast Established 2021, all at tpublic.com/stores/Sit Down Marks. That's tpublic.com/STORES/SITDOWNMARKS. Sit Down Marks. Go in there. And right now, there's Black Friday sale. All t-shirts are on sale and everything else is 35% off. You can take any of the designs that we have in the store and go and make yourself a hoodie, a mug, a shirt, baby clothes, or stickers,
Baby clothes.
magnets, any of the crap that you want. Go and buy it because the proceeds from that go directly back to us here at Sit Down Marks, and we appreciate it. So thank you so much. tpublic.com/stores/Sit Down Marks.
Yeah,
which we also put it back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you buying those shirts makes us be able to sponsor awesome shows like Iron Spirit Pro, and us be able to come to those shows and give you some free Sit Down Marks merch and watch some awesome wrestling.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Let me talk about what's going on this weekend in the Indies here around the Midwest and surrounding areas. Coming up, not actually this weekend, but the Friday after Thanksgiving, AAW, the Windy City Classic. Kevin from AEW will be on the pod next week to talk about that huge show. It's their biggest show of the year, live on Fight TV from 115 Bourbon Street. The main event right now is Fred Yehai versus Matt Fitchett. Now, coming up this weekend, St. Louis Anarchy mega ticket this Saturday night, Granite City, Illinois, Gary J versus Jeremy Wyatt. This is going to be their final show of the year, so make sure you go check that out if you're in the area. Back down south, Rock Hill, South Carolina, PWX. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. November the 20th, Chip Day is going for the PWX Championship against John Davis, and also debuting down in PWX, I believe, is the Besties. So they're going to be down there this weekend as well. Also, this Friday, Freelance Wrestling, Purple Poppy's big birthday blowout. If you don't know who Purple Poppy is, Matt Nix. It's going to be going on at the Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago. Make sure you guys check that out. And last, PWG. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Right now, the main event, November the 21st, Alex Shelley versus Bandito in Hollywood, California. So that is
my name is Purple Poppy.
This weekend, I know, right? Well, you can get some tights when we start calling you that.
My dog's name is Poppy.
Let's get
like
to,
Purple Poppy.
She has a purple collar, and her name is Poppy.
See, this doesn't count. Like you have regular colored Poppy, not Purple Poppy.
She's tan.
That's disappointing.
And that's what's going on in the Indies. Over to AJ to get us started with what we watched on TV last week. AJ, AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday was the lead in the Go Home Dynamite. to AEW Full Gear. AJ, tell us what happened on Dynamite, brother.
Well, thank you for that seamless lead in there, Dirty. I will get to AEW Dynamite right now, November 9th.
Tis what I do. Tis what I do. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Always makes it on the show by somebody.
I know. 7 thumbs up for that transition. We kick off with Bryan Danielson versus Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero, of course, had one previous match on AEW. Before that, he was on Impact. He's good. So this match is more of a technical kind of match, which is always, like, I love that kind of thing. And they do it really, really well because Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler in the world right now.
Yep. They were in Indianapolis, by the way. Dead center of the Midwest. They were on the Indiana State Fairgrounds is actually where they were.
It's so weird, actually, because it's like them and SmackDown are following each other around.
It's their close vicinity, yeah.
I wonder if they're planning that just so SmackDown can like sit in the stage or sit in the crowd, like with trench coats and like fedora hats on, like incognito and stuff.
It's just Pat McAfee.
With a fake
only
mustache.
jackets. But it seems they've been running like smaller venues, like around 7,000 to 9,000. You know, because all their shows have been looking full. Yeah,
packed to the gills.
Yep.
So this match, back and forth submissions until Bryan gets the win with the tequila surprise. Tequila sunrise for the win. He wins with yet another finishing move, which he has no finishing move. He just finishes matches with moves. Yeah. It's amazing. I love Bryan Danielson.
Starting to say that a lot too. You know, like he's got so many different finishing moves. You know, so I mean, like I said, his new finisher is that he has so many different finishers.
I love it. I love it so much. Up next, American Top Team beats. I am good at writing and speaking. Beats up the Inner Circle. Dan Lambert puts Jericho in a Boston Crab. Short, sweet, which a lot of these segments haven't been with the Inner Circle and American Top Team.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it was. I like Dan Lambert putting Jericho in the Boston Crab. I thought that was pretty cool.
How about the guy from Bellator throwing the lamest forearms? He was scared to hurt Jericho, wasn't he? Like
he really was. It was like
Jericho was putting his arms up high to make sure there was contact because he was like dropping these like
whenever you like have a dream and like in your dream you go to punch and it's just like
oh yeah, that was funny for me, man. One other thing too I wanted to mention, I don't know if you guys know this. Have y'all noticed this? They're starting to talk about Okada a lot.
Oh,
Chaos. So he's showing up, man. Like they're talking about him too much. Not, especially with Orange. Didn't Orange just join Chaos?
Okada extended him and a lot
Chaos
of
is Okada's faction.
Yes, in New Japan. He extended him an invitation to join. So Orange hasn't joined yet, I don't think. But
gotcha. Okay. Nice. Okada, Jericho, Okada. So many good matches there. But I tell you what, I want to say this, and you can continue. Okada can't get off. He can't have an hour-long match every week. You know what I mean? Like that's his thing over there, man. You know what I mean? So he can't have hour-long matches here. American crowds won't put up with that. Once in a blue moon, you know what I'm saying, a sneaky hour-long, but. But
Okada's so good that I think he could shift his style from the Japanese style to the American style and have it be just fine. Like have it be fine. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think he's showing up on there at some point. Yep.
Where am I? Oh yeah, trios match. I forgot.
Thruples?
So
thruples?
Thruples.
We got thruples?
Two-way
this
thruple?
Is a three-way thruple trio. So this is what I wrote for this match. Trios match that I skipped because it was all in the commercial break again. Tay Conti and I love Tay Conti so much. Anna Jay and Thunder Rosa beat Britt Baker, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter.
Rosa. I love Thunder Rosa's her entrance music, man. It is awesome. I don't know if y'all heard it.
I'm a fan of Thunder Rosa in general.
Yeah, me too.
And another thing I was want to say about Thunder Rosa, I always listen for this because they always say, from the graveyards of Mexico, Thunder Rosa. I'm like, I
like her whole thing, dude.
Yeah,
the graveyards of Mexico.
I love it.
Like, not that she's like dead, but that is just where her home happens to be. Like maybe she comes from a family of like caretakers or something like that. That's what I like to think every time. That they have a nice quaint house in a graveyard and they mow the lawns and stuff like that.
You think so?
So she's related to the Undertaker?
No, he's an undertaker, not a caretaker.
Not a caretaker.
What if Undertaker's been the caretaker?
I mean, Undertaker's not at the Mexican graveyard.
That's true. He's not. That was an angry.
It's actually pretty dope.
I know it is, man. It's sneaky good. Like the way it starts out, I'm always like, yeah, I want to fucking do something.
And Undertaker's actually from Death Valley, so
yeah. Graveyards of Mexico. I like that.
Ham hocks on him.
Look at the ham hock. Rowdy, best ever. So up next, Jungle Boy versus Anthony Bowens. I hated this. I hated it. So
listen, listen.
I hated this.
My boys, the Acclaimed, have arrived.
Anthony Bowens he's being held back by that obnoxious fucking Max Caster. I can't stand. He's so not like good obnoxious. Not Ricky Starks. Again, we've been over this.
Yeah.
He's just a charisma vacuum. He's not funny. I hate everything about him. Anthony Bowens is awesome, by the way.
He cut a joke on Jungle Boy's girlfriend or something about
which I was like,
dudes. I didn't even know there was a joke about that. I don't know, man. I love it. As soon as they come out, I want to hear what they're saying because it's always borderline.
See, I like the gimmick would be fine if you gave it to someone more talented than Max goddamn Caster. I can't stand him. I cannot.
Well, he's doing his job, AJ. He's doing his job.
No, he's not.
Pissing you off. He's doing his job.
But not pissing me off in a good way. Pissing me off in a just get off the fucking TV kind of way. I don't want to see your shenanigans. I don't want to see you.
Listen.
Have some sort of charisma, you gigantic douche pocket. Like, I fucking hate him so much.
Anthony Bowens can't go, though, man. When I seen he was going to wrestle, man. And,
he's so good.
Yeah, he is good, man. And shout out to all those pieces of shits out there, too, that was saying that was giving him shit online. You know, a buddy of mine had the same thing, man. Like, a lot of people were giving him shit about like he's got like a birthmark on the back of his head, so his hair doesn't grow all the same and it's kind of gray in spots. And right after that match, I seen some stuff online where a lot of people was giving him shit about it, and he was like, "Look, it's a birthmark, man. What y'all want me to do? Chill out."
I know,
you know what I mean? Like you know,
shut the fuck up.
Like, yeah. He can go though, man.
He can. He's so talented, and Max Caster's just dragging him down into his fucking shit toilet.
Listen.
Anyways. Jungle Boy gets the win in this match. And it was a good match. I hate Max Caster. Up next, Wardlow absolutely destroys Wheeler Yuta. Your typical schmaz to follow. It was fine. So, we next get like 11 minutes of flippy goodness with Lio Rush and Dante Martin versus Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal. This match was so much fun. I watched it 3 times. That is a legitimate statement. I watched this match 3 times. It's just pure entertainment. Lee Moriarty and Dante Martin are fucking stars. Soon. They're stars in the making. Rush and Martin get the win. Obviously, Dante Martin needs a character of some sort. We will get to that later. Up next, Pac versus Dax Harwood. Cool match that was just a setup. Sure. So now there's going to be the tag match that we'll get to with Cody Rhodes and Pac and
I kind of thought this was sneaky good though, man. Dax was like I don't know, like this was a good match, man. Like they kind of put each other over here, so it was.
They did.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And also too, FTR still coming out to the Midnight Express music.
Yeah, I actually noticed this time.
Yeah, if you haven't heard it up close here, let me play it for you real quick. I can confirm that was the Midnight Express music.
I like that song. That was very ahead of its time, it seems.
Yeah, it was, man. All I see is Jim Cornette coming out with the big tennis racket.
Like, it is very 80s, but like very not 80s, if that makes any sense. Like, it's very 80s, like with the synthesizers and stuff, but
definitely, yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let's have more of that, please.
Same. This crowd loved Pac and Jungle Boy, for sure.
They did a lot.
Yeah.
Especially Jungle Boy.
Yep.
So up next, we have a signing with Kenny Omega. This is just awesome. Normally contract signings are following the same formula. So this one has all kinds of, wah and woohoo. So first, Don Callis is disguised as a cameraman. Sure, why not? So they beat the shit out of Hangman, and then Omega takes...
This was like his return, Callis' return.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while.
Cameraman has to be the oldest disguise in wrestling, right?
I know, yeah.
It's either cameraman or old lady in the crowd. One of the two. I kind of wish they would have gone with the old lady in the crowd gimmick on this one. But cameraman works just fine. So they beat the shit out of Hangman. And then Kenny signs the contract with Hangman's blood. And I'm like, fucking awesome. I'm like, this is an angle that doesn't get done often.
No, we've never seen that one. No, it happened not long ago, didn't it?
In blood.
Yep.
Yeah, but they did it better because it's like that episode of The Simpsons when Sideshow Bob is writing out his grocery list. Simpsons did it. He's writing out his grocery list in blood. So that's all of AEW Dynamite. It was kind of a go home show, but set up some things, did some stuffs, a couple of cool matches.
Yep. Yep. After I watched this show, it made me more confident in my Hangman Page pick for AEW.
Yeah.
Full Gear. All right, let me get to Impact Wrestling last Thursday. Not much happened in the show. Only have a few notes for you. Our lead-in was Finjuice versus Chris Bay and El Phantasmo. Bullet Club, of course. Bullet Club wins. Good Brothers come down, and Hakaleo and Luke Gallows go eye to eye as they both as that segment goes off. They announced Turning Point on November the 20th, which is coming up this weekend on Impact Plus. So they start the hype for that. Scott D'Amore comes on and says that Josh Alexander is going to wrestle Minoru Suzuki next week. So still have more Minoru Suzuki matches, which was cool because next up was one of those matches. He wrestled Caleb with a K. This was a kind of a fun match. Josh came out. Alexander started scouting Minoru, but the Gotch Pile Driver gets the win for Minoru, and so that's how that segment ends. Moose comes out and lets everybody know that he is still the wrestling god. Next up, Mickey James.
Hardcore country.
Unacceptable. Mickey James out, and she gets laid out by Mercedes Martinez, who we just talked about is celebrating a birthday this week. Getting to the main event.
I think which words I was looking right at you.
Main event, thruple match, Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards versus Matt Cardona for the #1 contendership for the Impact World title. Eddie gets the win again. Is what I put. I guess they're going to feed him the Moose because we've already been here. plenty of times before, so I guess they're going to feed him to Moose. So that's how it goes off. So let's head to SmackDown, which is in Norfolk, Virginia.
That's right. I thought about going to this, actually.
Yeah, I believe closest is that the closest town to where Hangman was from, Aaron's Creek or something like that? Because that's where AEW is going to, right? Aren't they going to be there like next week too?
Like I told you, they're following each other around.
Yeah, they're following each other around. So
yeah,
all right.
So Norfolk's about 3 hours from me.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Anyway, so smackety down.
Smackety down.
Smackety down.
I didn't get it. I got in there third.
He smacked down that smackety down. It's revealed that Sir Kofi, with his twisted mustache.
I love it. I love the twisted mustache.
Suffered a sprained ACL at the hands of the Bloodline last week. Due to this, King Woods will take on Roman Reigns in the main event. Later in the show, the interviewer stops Roman Reigns backstage. They've interviewed Caleb Braxton. So Roman says, "You have to be here for one of two things: either to acknowledge me or to flirt with the wise man."
This was awesome. Yeah.
And he says,
"That you heard at the top of the show."
Yeah, he said exactly. You heard it at the top of the show. That was
wise man.
This exact promo. And we ask, what are you here for? He says, "Don't nobody care what you're here for." He says, "Wise man, smarten her up for me." Yes, my chief. Yes, my tribal chief.
I love that. Made me laugh so much. Wise man. Yes, my tribal chief. Fucking brilliant.
So basically, he tells Wise Man to smarten her up. Paul says tonight Woods and Reigns will face off, and whoever loses will have to bend to the knee to the other. So basically, they're saying if Woods loses, he has to acknowledge the tribal chief, and if Roman Reigns loses, he has to.
Had to go.
Sorry, it got me excited.
Did
Roman
you just
Reigns
eat like a
loses.
turkey dinner?
I just stood up and took my belt off.
He's like,
Boy, I'm
"Oh,
excited."
you gotta unbutton the pants."
Yeah, I need a little room there. That fish and rice is busting through there. I had for dinner. I loosened up the old belt, so I just took her off.
So basically, one has to bend to the knee to the other. If Roman Reigns violates this stipulation, though, then he may be stripped of the title and banished from SmackDown Down. Caleb Braxton interviews King Woods about facing Roman Reigns later on the night. He says, "King Woods, first of his name, bringer of new days, clutter of bloodlines, will storm the island of relevancy and plant his flag in the name of King Woods." He says Roman will, in fact, bend the knee to the king. Sonya Deville announces the Survivor Series women's SmackDown team. Shotzi, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Aaliyah, who I didn't even know was on SmackDown, and team captain Sasha Banks.
Man, wasn't she in NXT for like 7 years, Primo, or something like that?
Aaliyah?
Yeah, long time.
Naomi,
Yeah,
it was a while. And
Also,
then she popped up recently.
Is Sasha Banks like a full-on babyface now?
I feel like she's a tweener. Like she's like a babyface, but isn't like she'll still do like dirt bag stuff.
I don't understand what they're doing. I don't get it.
Well, I was gonna say. I get to that later in this. You'll see. Naomi comes out and gets in Sonya's face, which then causes the entire Survivor Series team to implode. This leads to a 6-woman tag team match. A tag team match, playa!
Holler!
Holler, holler, holler.
Naomi, Sasha, and Aaliyah defeat Natalya, Shayna, and Shotzi. Then I put, when did Natalya turn heel? When did this happen?
Man, I feel like she flops back and forth so much.
As much as Big Show.
She's
right?
like the new Big Show, yeah.
Well,
depending on her mood that particular day.
Natalia.
Well, it's Natalia.
Still better than her party game.
Is she going to be a heel or a face tonight?
She likes kitty cats. Sonya.
Wait, you want me to improvise here? Wait, hold on, ready? Natalia Farty. Okay, I'm done. I can't improvise.
Party pants.
Nah.
Sonya Deville stops Aaliyah backstage and tells her she is no longer on the Survivor Series team, even though she had just gotten the pin in that 6-woman tag team match. Adam Pearce, flanked by Von Wagner. I don't know. He randomly shows up on SmackDown. Sonya, they just had a draft. He was not drafted.
No.
I hear that's Vince's chosen one right now.
Anyway,
it is definitely.
Asked Sonya why she took Aaliyah off the team. She said it's to make the team stronger. Even though Sonya had told Aaliyah, she's like, "Yeah, I got word from higher ups. You got to go." So anyway, it was Sonya's doing. Sami Zayn comes in the office complaining to Adam Pearce about Jeff Hardy being on the men's team, talking about strengthening the team. Adam Pearce says whoever loses their match between Sami and Jeff Hardy will be off the team. Jeff Hardy defeats Sami Zayn and keeps his place on the team, but I ask you, who will replace Sami?
Fucking Dominic Mysterio.
Bearcat gets signed back and he takes it.
I'm still saying Dominic Mysterio, even though he's on Raw now.
Von Wagner.
Oh yeah, God, I mean, it could be.
Oh no.
Who else could it be though?
Fucking who is he? Who else is even on SmackDown right now? That's not already in a match.
A multi-time
also isn't fired.
A multi-time NWA heavyweight champion, Adam Pearce.
Rick Books.
Yeah, Rick.
Oh, yeah, I talked about them on here. Actually, that's what I'm talking about right now. Another tag team is fed to Los Lotharios. This time it's the Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Boogs. So, does the IC Championship not matter at all anymore?
No.
I honestly
because it
forgot
like
that
shit.
Shinsuke had it.
That's why.
Yeah, I remember when
relevant.
The Miz he worked so hard to bring it back to Prestige.
Yes, he did. And, it was okay for a while. Like between like Wade Barrett and The Miz, like that whole entire period, it was okay. And now it's just I forgot that Shinsuke had it. And Shinsuke is one of my favorite wrestlers.
I've got some bad news.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
That's my favorite. I love Bad News Barrett.
I did too.
Me too. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Fan of him.
The SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte arrives to the ring. She begins talking about her Survivor Series opponent Becky, and says she will now be known as Becky.
She looks like she's trying not to fall in those shoes. Y'all notice that? Like she kept looking down at her shoes.
Yes, that was a bit weird.
Yeah.
She said, "I came back from having a baby too soon." Then she goes on saying that her new name being Charlotte should be the Star Maker because she just being in the ring with Charlotte Flair makes her opponent a star. Out comes Toni Storm. Toni challenges Charlotte to a match tonight, but Charlotte says absolutely not. Michael Cole says Charlotte may be a star maker, but she isn't a match taker. and Pat McAfee goes, "Bars! Ha!"
Yeah, right. Like you spit some lines.
Yeah. Oh man! So Rich Holland has another interview talking about his idol Sheamus. Cesaro interrupts the interview, giving Holland a word of warning about Sheamus' latest temperament and how he can turn at a drop of a dime. Rich Holland says that him and Sheamus will be better than the Bar ever was. He tells Cesaro,
"Yay!"
that
dirty. Thank you.
Wow.
He tells him that if he has a problem with what he's saying, he can tell Sheamus next week when he returns to SmackDown. Michael Cole goes to break for the... Oh my God, this was hilarious. So Michael Cole goes to break for the Raw Rebound and says, "Let's check out what happened on Monday with the Raw Rebound." And Pat McAfee goes, "Ain't nothing."
Ain't nothing. Yeah, I laughed at this too. Not nothing, man. That was so funny, man. Yeah, he's got some good one-liners.
Yeah. And then I said, in the words of Mark Henry, it's time for the main event. Roman Reigns versus King Woods. Who will bend the knee? When things look dire for the Tribal Chief, the Usos snatch King Woods out of the ring and beat him down, then throw him over the announce table, which causes disqualification, which technically means Roman Reigns lost. Inside the ring, Roman bends the knee, but is crowned the new king by the Usos as We the Ones close Smackety down.
Yep. Fingers high in the sky, up in the air. They take it. And, and the only other note I have for this show was Gender calling Hit Row Cringe Row. And then Shanky, Ice Shanky rapping. What was that?
Gosh.
What was that segment? Like, it's guess what? Still better than Max Caster, you fucks.
Still better than Max Caster. All right, so that was SmackDown. AJ, go home. Rampage here, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They were at the Target Center. Rampage for AEW Rampage. This was the night before Full Gear.
Rampage the night before Full Gear, as you just said. I like repeating things. Kicks off with Jungle Boy versus Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish.
So someone apparently in the back was like, hey, go out there, get your fucking shit in, and then get the fuck out of there. Because this match was in fast forward the whole entire time. There was like no selling because they just all wanted to get their stuff in, which is fine. It was still a decent enough match. Bobby Fish gets the win with an Adam Cole assist, but again, it's like they only wanted, they're like, go out there, get your shit in so we can start the schmaz. And then the schmaz does, in fact, commence.
The schmaz does get put in.
Yes, and it does. And a schmazin they go.
Schmazin happens. Schmazin stank.
Get the old schmazzies out of the way.
The schmaz commencement.
Commence schmaz!
Mm-hmm.
So,
let there be schmaz.
Up next is Jade Cargill versus Santana Garrett. Squash. Again, squash. So Jade Cargill looks like a monster. She does. But she also looks so limited. I think these squash matches that they're putting her through are both helping and hurting her at the same. Like, she's getting real China vibes.
Yeah.
From me right now,
she's
like,
working stiff. Like, yeah, she ain't doing a whole lot, but it might be by design. Like, they might know that she's not ready.
She does look like a monster. Like, she looks badass. But it doesn't look like she can do anything except, squash.
Right.
So it's not winning me over. Like, you guys know that I still have never been behind Jade Cargill. She looks like $1 million. I'm like, you're boring me. So up next, Dante Martin versus Arya Daivari. This match was awesome. Dante Martin's getting himself over. I know. First Arya Daivari's on.
Yeah, it's cool.
No more on 205 Live.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dante Martin, he's getting himself over, and it's impressive that he's doing this because he has virtually no character, but we'll get to that in like 8 seconds. There's a bunch of counters and takedowns. Martin finally takes control. They go back and forth. So Dante Martin gets the win, but then Team Taz comes out, and at first I was like, Team Taz, but then I was like, Team Taz. So they offer him, Dante Martin, that is, a spot on Team Taz. And Ricky Starks was like, you can do so much more, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what, Ricky Starks, you are fucking correct. You are right. So, Ricky Starks tells Dante to think it over. He doesn't have to answer now. So we could be seeing a heel turning Dante Martin pretty soon, which I think will be great. I think if he joins Team Taz, it'll give him that character that he needs. So he's not just amazing in the ring, but outside of the ring, he's just doesn't exist, basically.
Right.
Because you got to have both. You got to have some sort of character. So I'm looking forward to where that is going. Up next, really quick, Lumberjack match with Orange Cassidy and Big Money Matt Hardy.
We had a Griff Grifferson sighting.
Yes,
Griff Grifferson was ringside.
Your favorite, AJ.
He left his Planet Fitness
oh my God.
Pilates class long enough to
he alerted
the Lumberjack.
The lug alert.
Love it.
Fuck you, Griff Grifferson. So
I was like, Griff, there he is. Hadn't seen him in a while.
Oh, see, I had the opposite reaction. I went, Griff.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
So Lumberjack match. The only part of this that I liked was that Matt Hardy was offering $20,000 to whoever could, beat up Orange Cassidy, basically. I'm like, yes, that is a good way to get over your big money gimmick. So, schmazzy schmaz, lumberjack schmaz. The blade hits Cassidy with brass knucks, schmazzy schmaz. Hardy gets the win, more schmaz. Those are my direct notes.
Yep.
It was fun.
Lots of schmaz. It was quite the schmaz fest.
Yes, it was just schmazzy.
Schmaz-tastic. Oh, AJ, you jumped off the wall.
Oh, grab them cakes.
Grab them cakes
Just
no longer.
Get the dust behind you.
Well, luckily, that is the end of AEW Rampage. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some cakes to attend to.
You're still up.
You're on Full Gear, sir.
Full Gear's up next. AEW Full Gear results.
He's like, I didn't take notes on that.
If you don't have them, I do. Of course he did. All right, so AEW Full Gear was the big pay-per-view in Minneapolis, Minnesota last Saturday night. I watched it live, one of the better pay-per-views I've seen in a really long time. This was absolutely phenomenal. Darby and MJF kicked us off, AJ.
Yes, and as is becoming the habit with AEW, especially in pay-per-views, this was the match of the night up till that point, and there will be this line will be repeated a few times. So I was not expecting this. I knew it would be good because MJF's awesome and Darby Allin is awesome. But holy shit, this was unbelievably good. Like, it was so awesome. They're just doing all their... Darby Allin is a madman. At one point, MJF gives Darby the skateboard and is like, hit me. And Darby, reluctantly gives it to the ref because, he's super babyface. And, MJF's buddies try and come to the ring. Sting stops them. It was fucking awesome. What did you guys think?
Well, last week I did say Darby, but had I known that MJF called a shot, that he was going to win with a headlock takeover, I would have changed my mind.
Takeover!
I would have immediately changed my mind because he's a heel calling his shot specifically. Yep. So I would have been like, yeah, we went with that.
He won with the headlock takeover. Dirty and I predicted that one.
Yep. This was my only note was this was a great catch wrestling match to start. Did you guys see how they started? With the catch wrestling and working the hold and stuff. That was fun. And then and then it was like right after they got done with that, it was like, all right, let's go back to our gimmicks. MJF goes right back to the cheating mode, and I thought it was great, man. Well laid out. This is MJF is doing MJF stuff, and man, he's freaking amazing, dude.
I really want MJF to feud with Hangman Page now for the better part of 9 years. I just want to see that because I think that'll be a fantastic feud.
Oh, I mean, I do too, man. Awesome. Great opener. I liked it.
So what match was it? The Lucha Brothers versus FTR was up next?
That was next up. Yep.
So this one was a bit weird. So I'll let you guys talk about it. First of all, Rey Fenix is in the match. Yeah. The match is awesome. However, Dax Harwood disappears from the match, and there was a screwy finish.
Yeah, it was weird. It looked to me like some of them got spent. Like Penta was, I don't know what was like. I don't know if he's sick. He just didn't look into it. That was his Three Amigos was probably the worst rendition I've ever seen.
It was bad.
You know what I mean? But oh God,
what the fuck?
Scared myself. I don't know. I hit some.
Are you going to a satanic meeting after this?
I don't know. I hit something. I think it was the death. I think it was Death Triangle.
It sounded like Cielo. He heard you talking about him.
Yeah, that was funny, man. All right, so, but yeah, you're right. This was the only one that I kind of questioned was like, what in the world,
It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
obviously Lucha Bros retained, but the ending was weird because they obviously Cash Wheeler wasn't the legal man. They were wearing their Super Rana outfits.
Yeah, I love those. They put them back on in the middle of the match.
But Dax Harwood just disappeared. So we learned later that the ending was rushed. Like they went home way early because Dax Harwood got hurt. Like he was knocked out early on. It was like 9 minutes into the 18-minute match. Like knocked out. So
I just thought it was like how I think it was Tony Schiavone was just like he was just going on and on like we know that's Cash.
Yeah, I know they
right.
were.
You see the hair coming out from under the mask.
It's so funny.
It was fantastic. So so they went home early. So Dax Harwood reportedly had a bit of an injury. So that's why the match was a bit weird. So up next, match of the night number 2, Bryan Danielson versus Miro.
I say, like I said, man, this pay-per-view is relentless. You know what I mean? Like, there was no cool-down matches in this pay-per-view.
No, like the closest thing to a cool-down match was one, the women's title probably. And like I'm trying to find like cooldown matches right now, and
maybe the Cody match if you knew the finish. I'm assuming that. See, I would say that even during the match, it might have been the cooldown match. I don't know. But Jesus Christ, this match was thank you
so good.
So hot. Want to touch the hiney?
Yes, and the hiney we did the proverbial hiney of AEW full. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah.
Talk about the match.
Yeah, Miro, man. Miro, the Redeemer.
Miro's hiney. I just like how they are constantly. Well, two couple things actually. I like how in the middle of the match he was just like reaching up to his god to give him the energy to.
He'll like look up a lot, like
yeah. And then also they just are not letting go of he has like a freaking stack of coins for a neck, I guess.
Yep.
Right.
Weird.
So, because that's why he lost. His neck is weak, and the DDT and whatever.
The DDT into the guillotine. Another new way to win for Danielson is fucking awesome.
Yep. He's the new Dean Malenko.
It was so awesome.
Man of a dozen holes.
Only with charisma and ability to speak. Yeah. And excuse me. What do we got next? What was next?
Super Click.
Super Click. Yeah, I liked this
Super
one.
Click party.
This was another this might have been a cool down match, but this was awesome too. Jungle Boy.
We're such nerds.
Yep.
Oh, Jungle Boy, freaking dude is so over, man. Golly,
and he's getting better each and every week.
Yeah, he's getting
he
better.
He really did really well on the storytelling of it. You could see he really made us feel like there was some inner conflict with him having to hit the concerto because that's just not his style, not what he does.
Didn't want to.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good character work on his part, and he's just great. He's Dirty once again called it. I'm going to say that every time Jungle Boy's on. You called it 6 months ago that Jungle Boy, watch out for him when we were still doing the wrestler spotlight.
Yep.
Part of the show.
Wrestler spotlight. I told you, man. This guy's got it all.
Jungle Jack Perry. I like when they call him that.
Yeah.
Jungle Jack. I like it better than Jungle Boy. Jack Perry.
I love the kiss spot in this match. It was great. I told you they would do it. The super click kiss. They got that.
Oh, with the thumbtacks in the mouth.
Yes,
with the thumbtacks in the mouth.
Yeah. This was a crazy match, though. But man, I loved it, man. This was everything I thought it would be. Pretty wild.
Yeah. Jungle Boy got the win with the concerto. I don't know if we mentioned that or not. So up next was probably the worst match of the night.
If you had to call one, I would say.
It's hard to do with this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it was Pac and Cody
awesome
Rhodes.
Except for the finish.
Yeah, I did not like the finish. I didn't understand the finish. It's Pac and Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Why?
El Idolo.
Why is
Andrade's pants pulled up so high? Yeah, I don't know.
well, in case there's a flood.
Yes. Yeah.
He's got to be prepared.
I couldn't get past that. I'm like, pull your pants down, man. I don't know. It just didn't look cool to me. But
his shoes would be wet, but his cuffs would be bone dry.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, man.
Doesn't like the belly button. I think it's very I Dream of Jeannie. Very Steve Mongo McMichael.
Mongo McMichael. Every time he wrestled, how many times you see him pull his tights up?
Oh, the jock every time.
50
and they were never low. They were like right below his nipples every time. What are you fucking doing, Mongo?
Nice call, AJ. Nice call.
Mongo like candy. Where? So, explain to me why Cody Rhodes was on the winning side of this match. I'm starting to understand the boos that were... Like, at least he didn't get the win, but El Idolo took the loss when Pac hit... It was a beautiful 450, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
But why is El Idolo taking the pin?
I mean, I think, I don't think he should have took the pin. I didn't have a problem with him losing because, Pat got the pin, so it's not like Cody went over with his finisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to piss everybody off or whatever. But, I mean, I've even been okay with that. I mean, this match was awesome. Yeah, I just didn't understand the finish right there. But, I mean, that's why, we have to chalk it up to storyline, right? Like, hopefully they got something in their pocket for that one. But, yeah, it was a little bit of a head scratcher, but,
Still a good match.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the shittiest match on the card was.
I feel like it was totally a filler match.
Yeah. Well, they had to do something to calm everyone down. Otherwise, people are going to be absolutely spent for the biggest payoff in probably AEW history. Well, one of them anyways. So up next we have my girl Tay Conti going for
your girl
the
Tay.
AEW. I love her. She's awesome. Against Britt Baker, the AEW Women's title. And this match was okay too. Like, it wasn't the best match ever, but it was, again, still
I think it was Tay's
pretty
best
fantastic
match ever. I think it was Tay's best match ever. Yeah.
By far her best match.
I do too. That was my really only note of, it went down like we thought, and it went down like it should. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely her best match yet.
Well, plus, like, the crowd they weren't silent for this match either. The crowd wasn't silent throughout the entire thing. Like, I don't know how this was a 4-hour pay-per-view of just a card filled with match of the night contenders. So I don't know how the crowd maintained any level of energy. It's amazing.
No letdown.
Oh, by the way, Britt Baker DMD score was able to win with a roll up. So I guess Conti still looks strong. But I mean, it was a fine match.
Definitely.
So notes. Where are you at? Notes. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. Okay.
Great start to this one, man. Punk had the shorts on.
The fighter shorts.
Had the fighter shorts on. Yeah.
He was short boys.
I love this, man.
Boys.
Yeah, I love this. One thing I want to say, man, if Eddie's a star, we've known this already, but legit now, if he was not before, after this match. So,
oh, God.
I like how he did the spinning back fist before the bell ever rang. He lays him out, and then he looks like a madman.
And immediately, before the bell even rose, and Punk sold it perfectly. It was
played.
Great. Yeah.
Quick question. Did you guys know who Baron Von Raschke was before this match?
Baron Von Raschke?
Baron Von Raschke.
Wait, say that again. You
Baron
You're
von Roski.
He's the great grandfather of Baron Corbin.
Yeah, he was in.
Wait,
he was in the crowd. No, he wasn't. He was in the crowd. He's an old timer. He used to do the face palm.
Yes.
And like put you to sleep. So
I actually did know that.
That was him. Yeah. So he gets involved in a match later too. So.
By the way, there is no O in his name at all. in the Roski part. I just Googled him. I completely botched the spelling of his last name. I'm good at spelling.
Hey, when I was younger, I had an action figure of Baron von Roski. He was, NWA, AWA guy.
You made action figures when you were younger.
Was it made out of straw and twigs? And
okay, first of all, fuck off. Second of all, now that I think about it, his action figure looks like he was clawing for the Dark Order.
Really?
Yeah, he was like this. He just had like yeah. And when he'd come at you, he'd always be like trying to hold his hand back. But anyway, enough about Baron Von and your shitty ass old jokes.
He kind of looks. Sorry, I'm looking at him. So he kind of looks like the fish guy from Pro Wrestling on Nintendo. Who did the claw and like bit your face and stick. The Amazon, yeah. That kind of looks like him.
He'd always bite on your head.
Yeah. I'm totally gonna play that game
I'll
tonight.
Smoke your asses in some pro wrestling.
That is a challenge that is accepted.
Let's do it.
And I will fucking destroy you.
You don't want none of King Slender.
You would be clean. Well, I'm starting, so I can't really.
Or Fighter Hayabusa.
Starman is just cheating.
Fighter Hayabusa.
Primo, there was this thing called Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah. It led the way for you to be able to have an Xbox these days.
Yes.
Mario was on there. Duck Hunt.
Like
Duck Hunt.
If you want to play your Fortnites
funny.
and your Call of Duties, like this is
First of all,
part of what
my brother KO had a NES and a SNES, and I had a Sega Genesis. So,
so you were one of those households.
Smart with all your little abbreviations. Don't.
So he exactly. The Kill Switch said, "How old do you think we are?" Because Chris, actually, KO, he even has Kill Switch. He even used to have one of our relatives' Ataris too.
Nice. All right, so Punk and Eddie, AJ.
So this match had storytelling, callbacks.
Yes.
Fucking at one point, CM Punk was pretending to be John Cena.
That was the best ever. He did John Cena's Moves of Doom. And he did the thing, and everybody started to boo because they thought he was going to do it. But then he flipped him off,
That was great.
I thought he was for sure going to do the 5-knuckle shuffle and everything. But
I just like how he grins at the camera, like, I got you, motherfuckers.
I know, right? Yeah.
With blood like pouring down his face and stuff.
Looking like a psychopath.
Oh my god.
Funny.
So
he must drink black coffee.
Yep.
Not like my dad's black coffee though. Like real man black coffee. None of my foo-foo.
Like those of us
coffee.
that are psychopaths out there.
Yes, like fucking psycho. This is delicious. By the way, this is featuring some lovely toffee
Arabica.
I believe it's caramel toffee creamer from Starbucks.
You boozy bitches.
Wonderful. Guess what it is?
Back to wrestling?
Chef's kiss. Yeah, I guess so.
This is
so I like how we're talking about. We're going off the rails against one of the greatest matches ever. Not ever, but it was so good. So CM Punk gets the win with the GTS finally. And you were right what you said about Eddie Kingston earlier. He's a giant star. I think they're going to turn him heel for when Moxley comes back, and I think those two are going to feud. But this is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I just love how real he is and how real Eddie Kingston is. How real and gritty, like,
They were stiff in there too. Like they were legitimately beating the shit out of each other, and it just added to them. It was great. I can't say enough good things about this match.
I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, awesome.
What do we have up? See, this is probably it.
Street fight.
Yeah. In a
Inner
Minneapolis
Circle
street fight.
Yeah, versus Top Team with Scorpio Sky and
Let's
Ethan
just
Page.
get to the main event.
I know, right?
Well, let me say this real quick. Santana and Ortiz's face paint was awesome.
Yes,
and
I will say that was cool. They're trying to steal the gimmick, brother. But okay.
Yeah, a lot of these guys look lost, especially Arlovsky. He looked like he didn't know what to do. Like they told him, just go out there and just wing it, brother.
Yeah, just do some stuff.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm pretty sure
JDS. JDS looked good.
JDS, well, except for the end there, he just totally whiffed.
Yeah, he totally whiffed at the end.
But he did look really good. He is transitioning so well into wrestling as opposed to MMA fighting, which I think he's going to be great. Also, where was Paige Van Zandt? How come that's another star in the making that you have right there? He's just not doing anything, apparently. I didn't get it. The match was still fun. There was another tribute to Eddie Guerrero. By the way, all these tributes to Eddie Guerrero because this week was the 6th anniversary of his death. Is that right?
Yeah,
I believe it was right.
Yeah. Did you say 6th?
16th?
16th, yes.
16th, yeah.
I was about to say,
16th,
no way.
16th.
Yep.
So that's why there were so many tributes. Jericho hit a nice frog splash. To
multiple people
did Dan Lambert
did Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos. Yeah. So this match was fun. Santana and Ortiz looked awesome. It's nice to see them back. And I do like how Jericho kind of took a back seat but still got the win because I don't think he's going to be featured as much anymore because I don't even know what feuds going forward like Inner Circle will have. Obviously we'll get to one in a minute, but right now, no. So I want to before we get to the main event really quick.
Yeah,
I do want to talk about Jay Lethal.
I'm sorry. Who did you say? I'm sorry. Who did you say?
Black.
He did come out.
Machismo.
Black Machismo music, didn't he?
Yes,
Yep.
That was the first thing I said when Ring of Honor let all these people go. Man, where's my guy Jay going? When Shivani said Jay Lethal, I come up off the couch. I was like, ooh! Yeah. And he comes out right off the bat in the flare, and he goes Shivani, like Flair.
Loved it.
He goes, I always wanted to do that, and he's in AEW, and he moved up to the top of the list of my favorite AEW wrestlers. He's probably right there with Andrade right now for me. So, and he ain't even done
just immediately
yet,
jumped
man,
everyone.
But, oh man, I've always been a big fan, man. I love him. He's great. He's got so much charisma, man, and like he can talk and he can wrestle, and the lethal injection. That's an awesome finisher, man. That's dope.
I love Jay Lethal. I love Black Machismo. I loved it when he did the Ric Flair stuff. I loved him in the X Division.
He's going to do all that too. I have a feeling. You know what I mean?
I know,
because that's what everybody knows from him. So,
and he's amazing at all of it. I'm so.
And go ahead.
I remember I didn't think that he would turn up in AEW, but I also popped huge when he came out. It was awesome.
And he very likely could encounter Ric Flair.
Yes,
he could. Yeah,
that's true now at this point, apparently.
Also, I want to go back real quick before we get to the main event. We're talking about the Eddie Guerrero stuff. I forgot to mention this earlier with the Lucha Brothers tag team match, but when I think it was Dax Harwood, he did the chest, the shimmy thing, and then he started to do the Eddie Guerrero thing, and then he got knocked down, and then Penta did the Three Amigos, and he did the chest thing. I popped
the old shimmy shakes.
I popped hard for that. I thought that was
cool. Pretty awesome.
So there was 9 matches on this card.
And it didn't seem like 9 matches at all.
It was a 4. Well, I don't know. To me, it kind of did. It was a 4-hour pay-per-view. Like I knew it was getting close to, being pretty long. But yeah, every match was amazing. Like I was definitely into it.
Yeah, when 6 of those matches are it doesn't even seem like they were 20 minutes long or something. Oh, we didn't even talk about the pre-show match either. Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa and Shida, and I honestly don't even know who won because I skipped it.
I think Nyla and who was Nyla's partner? I
Jamie
think
Hayter.
they won, yeah. But anyway, get to the main event here.
So the main event finally. This match was fucking amazing. And so this is a story that has been, 2 years in the making?
A tale as old as time.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they went back to the beginning, when he lost the belt, or he didn't win the belt with Jericho.
Yeah, he was the first, number one contender.
And the alcohol problem, and then the tag team with Omega. Yeah, so...
And then, they, this whole 2-year-long redemption story, and it all culminates to this tonight.
Yeah. I think they tipped their hand, though, because right before the main event, they announced that they're going to be in Norfolk, Virginia. And they got a picture of Adam Page right there. Going to Adam Page's hometown next week for Dynamite. But here's the main event, and you're supposed to...
be like,
I mean, we all, all the signs pointed to, Paige winning. So, what I mean? So, if you didn't know already, they made sure that you were about to see Paige win the title here. So
there are a couple of notes before I turn this match over to you guys, because I've been talking way too much about this awesome pay-per-view. One, I loved the spot where Omega was just booting Hangman in the face. Like, he had him, bent over and just kicking him in the face. And Hangman just pops up and was like, is that all you fucking got? And got in Omega's face. I'm like, fuck yes. That is so that's one of the biggest pops of the entire night when he did that. And then, without spoiling the ending, the Young Bucks thing, when they got onto each side of the ring, and everyone's like, well, shit, there's that. And what did they do? They kind of
gave them the nod. Yep.
Fucking... That right there was the best bit of storytelling in this.
That was good, man. Yep, that was good.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was everything I was going to say, especially the Young Bucks thing.
Yeah, and I commented on each match as we went, but yeah, I mean, this was an awesome pay-per-view. Might have almost been the perfect pay-per-view, just about almost perfect. And it was great. They told stories. We got Daniel Bryan as the number one contender now. We got Hangman Page. So, I mean, I guess you put those together, that's going to be a little feud going possibly forward here. So I thought it was awesome. It felt like the ending of one era and the start of another. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. And also at the end there, when the match is over and he's celebrating, and Dark Order comes out.
That was awesome.
So I was still kind of holding out for Bray Wyatt.
I was too, a little bit, but
I didn't want him to show up at this point though. It was, especially when they did the beer spot.
Yeah, I didn't either, because this was Hangman Page. Again, this is the culmination of such a long story. Like, this is long-term booking.
It would have made Dark Order and Bray Wyatt all heel. It would have been cool.
Yeah, immediately. True.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I like that they just let Hangman have his moment, and it was great. This was the best ending to a paper. This is one of the most feel good endings to a pay per view I have seen in a very, very long time.
It really was.
It was phenomenal.
Really awesome. AEW Full Gear. So real quick, do we know when their next pay per view is?
Their next pay per view is no idea.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to that. So, all right, so we had next up was Monday Night Go Home Raw in Indianapolis, Indiana, as well there. So these guys are Monday Night Raw pulled through Indianapolis. This is the Go Home show to Survivor Series, which is coming up this Sunday. Primo, tell us what happened on Raw here.
Well, on Monday Night Rollins, the Go Home show. The show opens up with a replay of last week's events between the WWE Champion Big E and Kevin Owens. I was gonna say my big brother. The WWE champion comes out to the ring. He says, "Let's not waste any time. Let's get to the matter at hand." He addresses Roman, saying it was just supposed to be brand versus brand, champ versus champ for the Survivor Series matchup. But the Bloodline took it to a place that there's no return, man, because they put their hands on his family. So now the WWE champ must beat Roman's ass like he stole something.
I mean, it seems like there is a place to return from in there
Somewhere.
But I don't know.
So he says he must take a piece of Roman that he will never get back.
His belly button.
His left kneecap. Then he moves.
Weird. I was gonna say that. His patella.
His patella. He moves. I mean, he could do like the old Mick Foley and lose an ear.
Or like a tooth.
Tooth.
Like
One
you would
tooth.
have to pull out of his nose because that's where the tooth goes.
That's true. Yeah, it goes through the nose.
Old nose.
Then
That's how one gets it.
He moves on to addressing Kevin Owens. He tells Kevin Owens to bring his lying, treacherous carcass out so they can handle business. Kevin Owens comes out with a smug look on his face and said there's nothing more he'd love to do than to beat the hell out of Big E, but he needs to address something else first. He says it's Big E's fault that he lost last week because he got in his way. He says he snapped because of all the mistrust and questioning of his character. He says everyone can go to hell for judging him. He must... he says, since perception is reality, and everyone thinks he's such a bad guy, then he's going to go ahead and be bad and be worse than anybody ever imagined.
Love it.
He says that he says that everything that happens from. He says I lost my spot. Sorry. He says that everything that happens here on out to anyone on the roster is Big E's fault. Kevin Owens walks to the back and baits in Big E, but before the champ can make it to the curtain, the Usos attack. They put Big E back in the ring and say Roman Reigns sends his regards. While they are there, they also call out RK Bro, saying the Usos will run SmackDown and Monday Night Raw as the best tag team in WWE. Matt Riddle comes out and evens the odds. Sonya comes out and makes it a tag team match, playa.
Holla, holla, holla.
I'm being very lazy about my Teddy Longs tonight.
For some reason, Seth freaking Rollins, a.k.a. the Drip God, comes out. Eventually, the 2-on-2 becomes a 3-on-3 6-man tag team, a match between RK Bro, Big E versus Usos and Rollins. Did your Teddy Long dance die out?
Yeah.
So Rollins gets the pin. So Rollins ends up getting the pin for their team, but Randy Orton hits an RKO on Jey Uso. Big E grabs Jey and says for him to tell his daddy, Roman Reigns, that the message has been received loud and clear, but he has a message for him and delivers a big ending, saying he wants all the tribal chiefs' smoke.
I want all the smoke.
More smoke. Talk.
Everybody wants to smoke. You know, everybody's stealing Street Profits gimmick there.
It's very, very popular.
Taz would not be happy with all this gimmick infringement.
No, he would not be.
New music. Y'all want to go big?
Y'all want to go big?
Well, say so then, or something like that. he needs something harder hitting or something. I don't know, like
like the Almighty.
Yeah.
Later on, backstage, Kevin Owens gets interviewed saying he purposely lied about coming to the ring earlier, and backs it up by saying that, well, he's a liar, so he lied on purpose. So that's what he's going to do now, you know? Like, what do you expect? You call me a liar, so I'm lying, you know? So he's like, technically, I didn't lie, because I'm just doing what I said I was going to do, which is lie. Anyway, Finn Balor interrupts and says it's a shame he wasn't there last week to tell Kevin Owens straight to his face that he's a liar, and that they're going to, and now they're going to face off tonight, because Finn Balor was originally supposed to face Seth Rollins, but for some reason, Seth Rollins ended up in that 6-man tag. So Finn Balor and Kevin Owens do throw down. Apparently, I wrote this down because they have the Matt facts on the sidebar now when they come out. I put apparently Finn Balor is a first-degree black belt. I did not know that.
I mean, I knew it's some kind of martial arts, but I didn't know what his degree was.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Did you know that, AJ? I was talking about how Finn Balor, for his match this week, when they came out, the Matt facts on the side panel, they said, one of them said that Finn Balor is a first-degree black belt. Oh, okay. Well, so Kevin Owens pulls no punches and hits the stunner to get a clean victory over Finn Balor. So not only is he heel, but he is also going overs. So we're doing good.
By the way, it was judo. I think was the black belt. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just ignoring everything.
I was gonna say I asked you that like 30 seconds ago. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Finn Balor.
The Raw Women's Champ, Becky Lynch, arrives. She gets real with Charlotte, reminding her who she is and who she used to be to Charlotte Flair, saying she had to give up her friendship with Charlotte so that Becky could go on to be the biggest star in the industry. She says that she's the person whose success has made Charlotte the most miserable person ever. Becky says if she still doesn't remember who she is, then she's going to be the person that beats the ever-living piss out of Charlotte on Sunday. Then she says, uh-oh. Referencing Charlotte's new name for her. At this point, she's interrupted by the number one contender, Liv Smoking Hot Morgan. Liv Morgan says she's sorry for interrupting this weird little love-hate obsession that Becky and Charlotte always seem to have. She says that now Becky Lynch can't just walk away. Yeah, because she's the number one contender for her belt. Becky says that she expected Liv to interrupt, so she prepared a quick video package of Liv Morgan. Basically, Liv Morgan saying how when Becky left to have her child, she told Liv Morgan, she's like, when I'm gone, you're going to, do great. You'll be a champ. And Liv Morgan basically didn't live up to that. Becky says she's sorry to get Liv's hopes up while she was gone because she didn't know that Liv Morgan was going to underperform so badly. She says some have it and some don't. Liv Morgan says that Big Time Bex is really just a big time bitch.
Wow.
Ooh.
Becky goes for the manhandle slam, a.k.a. rock bottom, a.k.a. bookend, but Liv counters, sending Becky retreating. Backstage, you got Randy Orton. He's scolding Riddle once again for playing hero. He makes it clear that the only thing that they need to concern themselves with is the tag team championships. Riddle says, Randy says, Riddle says to Randy Orton, he says, you're right, Randy. I wish I could use osmosis to absorb some of that wise knowledge from you, Randy.
I love your Riddle impression.
It's pretty spot on.
I know it is.
Oh, Randy.
So, Randy says the only thing he cares about is the team and the titles. Riddle says, so you do care about me. And then he goes on to talk to the Street Profits. Rey Mysterio is shown earlier in the day arguing with Adam Pearce about what happened to Dominic last week whenever he was fed to the Almighty. And ends up talking himself into a match with the Almighty Bobby Lashley. Lashley ends up winning via the Hurt Lock. After the match, Adam Pearce gives his last-minute words before ending the show. He says it's literally his job to make the best so he's turning into a heel, Adam Pearce, in case y'all didn't notice. Mm-hmm. It's literally his job to make the best competition possible at Survivor Series. Therefore, for the well-being of Team Raw and Rey Mysterio, he is now removed from Raw. Survivor Series team, were the replacement to be, he says it were the replacement to be named at a later time. It was actually named like 30 seconds later because Austin Theory immediately attacked Dominic and became the 5th member of the Raw team.
Yeah.
I mean, that was technically at a later time.
It was
30 seconds later.
And also,
I hate how they're doing this.
I put 2 things out of that was the end of Raw, but I put 2 things for my, I don't know what you call it, my whole WWE recap, which is basically I am really enjoying the artwork that they're doing for like, who will bend the knee, and it's like just like King Woods like or I like those. I like the little artwork things that they're doing, their graphics.
Yeah.
I've also said here that I've noticed they've gone back kind of to the old school promos, like backstage where it's like Street Profits were like, dirty dogs, we're coming after you. We want all the smoke. And then they head to the ring, but immediately after they pan over to the dirty dogs, and dirty dogs are like, Dirty Dogs are like talking shit, and it's just like Saturday night's main event.
It is.
Like they
totally.
were patiently waiting off
Yeah.
camera just to like come in and say the same thing.
Exactly. So it's just like how these old school promos that we're watching now, that we're doing these dropkick discussions on. It's like they're coming full circle with those. They're starting to incorporate that. That was Monday Night Raw, and that was your WWE recap going into NXT 2.0, Dirty Bird.
So really quick, I do want to say that this is one of the worst builds to a Big Four pay-per-view I have ever seen. It's like, who even cares about the teams now? Because apparently half teams are going to be replaced, next week or whatever, like the day before. They're going to be like, oh, we changed our mind about fucking Austin Theory. And now it's, Earthquake, John Tenta, who's going to be on the team. And I don't understand what they're doing. They're not making me care at all about this pay-per-view coming up.
Well, this is, one of the 4-pillar pay-per-views, right? Of the year. Go Home Raw. What's the last wrestler we've seen? Austin Theory. So does Austin Theory make you want to go, watch that pay-per-view?
Yes, he sells.
On Peacock?
Austin Theory sells pay-per-views.
He does.
Fuck
so,
right on.
All right. So, NXT 2.0 here. Got some notes for you. Tony D'Angelo beats Dexter Lumis after a thumb to the eye to kick off the show. Carmelo and Trick then attack Lumis. They do a concerto to his arm, and then Gargano runs them all off. And Gargano calls out Carmelo, but Pete Dunne comes out instead. So next week, we're going to have ourselves a thruple match for the North American title. Carmelo versus Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano. So that led off the show. Next up was 6-man tag team match. The Diamond Mine with Roddy Strong and the, what are they called? The brothers.
Creed Brothers.
Creed Brothers, thank you. The Creed Brothers versus Kushida, Jiro, and Odyssey. I still need new tights, Jones. as he wrestles.
I was just going to say, you know what the Diamond Mine needs? They have the talent, but they have the wardrobe, but they need like a signature gesture or something. You know how like the Bar had that, and even Imperium does the hand behind the back thing.
Well, they can't do the diamond cutter bang. They can't do the
no.
They all just come out and they're like bang.
Primo, for a second, I thought you were going to say they need like a signature scent. Like they come out and they have like two Creed Brothers and they just
de jour by Diamond Mines.
They have to shoot some arrogance in the air. So Odyssey wins.
Arrogance.
Yes, Odyssey wins with a big splash on Roddy with a ref distraction. Next out, Andre Chase with his student section versus Zion Quinn. Quinn wins by the jackhammer, which that is his finishing match, a finishing move. Post-match, he is attacked by El Legado Fantasma. And then so next up is the famous, or the Duke Hudson versus Cameron Grimes in the
Cameron Grimes,
the poker hand shootout that we're going to have. So anyway, it comes down to Duke ends up beating up Cameron Grimes and power bombs him through the poker table after losing another hand of poker to Cameron. And the funny segment is he ends up cutting Cameron's hair and beard while he is out after taking Duke's finisher. And so with a pair of scissors, he cuts some of his hair off. So I hadn't seen that done in wrestling in a while, so that was kind of cool.
It's been a long while since we saw anyone.
Been a minute. Cameron Grimes going to come back looking completely different then?
He's going to be respectable. And
yeah, he kind of cut the back of the hair and kind of bottom parts of the beard. So, but next up was Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner beat Bronson and Briggs, the new tag team on NXT. Kyle O'Reilly asked Wagner why he was on SmackDown, and Wagner didn't really answer him. So next up, Tommaso Ciampa comes out to cut a promo on the new generation, not respecting the veterans. And then, of course, Mr. Braun Breaker comes out and he interrupts and says that he is all Ciampa needs to be worried about. And then in very funny fashion, I knew this was coming. Ciampa says that Braun Breaker has less than a 33 1/3 chance to win the title from Ciampa. So that was a funny little spot.
I got friends. I got news for you. Me and Braun Breaker, we are Facebook friends.
What?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
How about that? You're welcome.
Next up, the main event, Raquel versus... Don't interrupt me for any of that stupid shit. Next up, the main event is Raquel versus Dakota. This was a really good match. Mix of power and technical moves throughout. The crowd loved it. Dakota got the shovel. Raquel obviously takes it away, and then Toxic Attraction attacks Raquel. The match ends in a DQ. Cora Jade comes out and helps Raquel. She gets beat up too. Out comes Io Shirai. She cleans house. And at the end of the match, grabs the microphone and yells War Games as NXT goes off. So War Games, Sunday, December the 5th.
I am more excited about this than I am for Survivor Series. So that's a thing, I guess.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, you said NXT's getting a makeover. So back to the drawing board on that. So that is the recap of the week. I want to make a quick note here. We had Logan from Iron Spirit Pro early on in the show. He had some technical difficulties, so he just posted that he did the Job 2 technology tonight. So we will have Logan back on the show later to have the podcast with him and talk about the December 3rd show coming up. So we'll have him back on here before that show. So just want to give you an update on that.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, but you can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Now, let's get to this week's Dropkick discussion. This week's discussion is the third week of 4 of Saturday night's main event. Now, this is the episode right after the one that we watched last week. This was 1987, November the 28th. Now, this show was 2 days after Survivor Series, the very first Survivor Series, but these Saturday night's main events had already been pre-taped, so nothing was mentioned about Survivor Series being a few nights before. This was right after also the Mega Powers had formed. So this was episode number 13, and it was kind of funny. Right off the bat, we see these flash bulbs going off, which is kind of something we don't really see too much anymore because, flash photography is kind of not a thing unless you're actual.
Those with flash photography.
Thank you. I was hoping somebody would say that. So Saturday night's main event, AJ is going to bring us to this one. This one has a really good, sneaky Macho Man versus Bret Hart match. So right off the bat, we got George the Animal Steele and Danny Davis, AJ.
So before that, there's a couple of things that we must talk about. Twilight Zone themed opening, which immediately had me laughing. So first, there's a promo with Macho Man in space. Amazing. Then we have a King Kong Bundy promo in space where he Bundymania.
That's so great.
Bundymania. And then there's Hulk Hogan with head tassels.
So,
that was, oh my God. He couldn't see through those things. He couldn't see through those.
He looked like a lamp from the 1970s. It was amazing.
He did.
I was laughing at the fact that the music behind Macho Man's opening promo sounded kind of like mixed between Twilight Zone and Michael Myers. And then I wrote, Hulk Hogan's head thing is ridiculous. He's kind of looking like the Young Bucks.
Right.
Only not intentionally douchey. Just
yeah.
Hogan was probably like, brother.
Yeah, brother. I'm cool, brother.
Love
Look
it.
at my eye tassels.
It was so funny, man.
It's amazing.
The eye tassels.
Also, Jesse Ventura's back. I was super psyched.
Yep.
He makes
you know
fun of
Shivani.
Vince,
You know McMahon.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good actually.
Hey, thanks.
He makes fun of Vince. Vince is wearing a velvet, like a crushed velvet tuxedo, which is
that
very
velvet?
1987. There's more poultry puns as Jesse calls Vince a turkey. They do a quick recap from the South Bend. I guess it was a South Bend like house show or something, where George the Animal Steel gets hit by Danny Davis with a bell. And then there's a quick promo of the Animal playing with an Elizabeth doll. It's so fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And he reminds me of Sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of the George Steele macho kind of little tidbits of the rivalry.
Oh, because he is one of.
That's with Elizabeth.
So there are many people on this particular show that want to either kidnap or steal Elizabeth. It's very unnerving.
Yeah, I put on for this though. Right before that promo that you're talking about, the footage they showed of George getting hit with the ring bell. I put even in 1987, they were still trying to say that footage was altered.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then
the footage was altered.
And then I put George the Animal Steel and Mean Gene do such a good job of not rigging character because I would be dying of laughter.
Pretty funny.
I don't know how they didn't. Well, and then when he goes to the ring, he does his floppy arm thing. Which I don't know how it makes me laugh. While he's like strutting and flopping his arms. It's fantastic. So this match, Dangerous Danny Davis, who was a former ref and also looks like he's wearing diapers underneath his
They make that known
onesies.
several times.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous. So apparently he gets like a shiv and just keeps shivving George Steele. He's just like, blah, blah, blah. Also, why is the animal's tongue green? I don't know.
Yeah, it just always was.
So
lots
at one
of,
point,
I was gonna say lots of candy.
yeah, yes, lots of like green apple suckers.
Yeah,
or like
the sour straws or what are they called?
Yeah, the pixie stick things. So when Danny Davis gets done shivving the Animal Steel, he just picks up Davis and Davis just goes blah and kicks the ref. So there's a DQ. Steel is
every George the Animal Steel match ended in a DQ somehow.
Everyone I've ever seen.
Every time, man. Yes.
So it's funny though because then afterwards, the animal eats the turnbuckle. Was that another gimmick of his where he just ate the turnbuckle all the time?
Yeah, ate turnbuckle or tore it apart. Yep.
So then Davis attacks the Animal Steel. Steel chases after him, and then they cut to janitors cleaning the ring, which was funny to me as well. What do you guys got for this?
Yeah, that was all I had. Danny's foreign object of, LOL is what I put, the 80s foreign objects that they used to use. And then the other thing was, George Steele, every match was a DQ, man.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else on this particular match, but the whole thing was just funny to me. Especially just they really, George Steele does a really good job at his character.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him.
I can see why. He's super entertaining in the most ridiculous way possible. So up next, we have a recap of previous main events the previous main event when the Hart Foundation attacked Macho. So Jimmy Hart says, "Let me tell you something, baby," like 4 times to me and Gene. Let me tell you something, baby. And I don't like Jim Neidhart's laugh. Like I don't know why. I know it's like his thing, like the beard thing and his. I don't know why. It just bothers me for some reason. So then there's a Macho promo, and holy God, this is like
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. This
back.
Elizabeth is drop dead gorgeous.
She is, man.
During this show. I mean, she's always like super pretty, but she's like elegant and classy, and she's not like, I don't even know what word to use. They never made her out to be like floozy
ever.
Yeah,
no,
she was always like
angle
classy.
made her look bad, really.
No, but I did write that. I wrote Jesse Ventura says that Elizabeth can't defend herself like a man could, and like because at one point she's like cornered by the Heart Foundation.
She was.
Yeah,
and they like basically like she's this helpless female, and back then they didn't portray women as fighters. So
Right.
Jesse Ventura was like, "Yeah, Elizabeth can't defend herself like a man would be able to." And I also thought it was funny how McMahon was calling for the ref to stop the match like every 5 seconds. He called it for things
their match
that by today's standards would be so tame, like working on the ankle and stuff like that. I also put the finish was pretty interesting.
So like, first of all, Elizabeth should never talk. Like, she should just be a valet because she's a terrible talker.
Oh yeah.
So during this match, it's like, oh hey, sudden Brian Bosworth. It's like, where the fuck did he come from? Why is Brian Bosworth there? And why are they? I get that they were in, like they were in
Seattle.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they
Seattle,
went back
Washington.
to Brian. They went back to Brian Bosworth in the crowd like 10 times.
He was a big deal during that time, man. He
Boz.
was, the Boz, yeah. Big Oklahoma guy.
So up next, this all leads to the match with Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Bret the Hitman Hart. Although, was he the Hitman yet, or is he just Bret Hart? I don't know.
They were in black and pink though. Now, remember
they were
in just pink.
Yeah, they moved to two
Now
colors
they're in the black and pink. Yes, they're expanding their color palette. There's a picture-in-picture of Honky Tonk, who I put will have to fight the Animal Steel over who gets to perv over Elizabeth Moore. This was so creepy because he was seriously like, "I'm gonna steal your woman." Like, I can't do a Honky impression. Oh, I'm gonna steal her.
She likes the way I walk.
He's like, yeah, she still likes the way I walk.
She still likes the way I walk.
And I'm gonna leave here with your woman. Like, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Be less creepy.
That was like a honky Dusty Rhodes.
It was. I kind of combined them. So Jimmy Hart throughout this match just yells nonsense from his megaphone. It was so annoying. I was like, this is awesome.
Yep.
I'm annoyed at Jimmy Hart because the whole time he says blah 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 blah. Oh shit! I did a turkey impression.
You did. There it
God
is.
damn it.
Your aunt, whatever her name is.
Grandma.
Grandma.
My grandma.
Yeah.
She wrote.
Yeah.
So at one point during this match, I thought, because Bret Hart gets hit and goes to the outside and he's like injured and stuff, and I thought for sure for a second that they were gonna throw Bret Hart over, like the Anvil's gonna throw Bret Hart over his shoulder and like take him to the back for 10 minutes like they did with Jimmy Hart in the last match, and then Macho was just gonna sit there patiently. Also, working my orange weird again. Woo.
There you are.
Still there.
There you are. Yeah. There you go. Keep
How-
going. You're good. Keep going.
How long was I frozen?
No, like seconds.
In-
It's okay. Keep going.
Am I still orange?
No,
Awesome.
you're fine.
So after Bret Hart hits Macho with the megaphone, he puts Macho in the Tree of Woe, which is another thing we don't see very often.
No.
The Tree of Woe, which is fucking cool.
Or the double axe handle. We don't see the double axe handle anymore.
No, especially the top rope double axe handle.
Yeah.
It's because everyone, also a pile driver. Well, we do now in AEW, but we don't see a pile driver in WWE.
Yeah, and Macho kicked out of a pile driver.
Fuck yeah, he did. So then, like, Macho gets flipped to the outside, and he was like selling on the ground. And I wanted Elizabeth to like throw Macho over her shoulder and take her to the back, like the previous match as well.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. Macho gets the roll up win, and I started the Hogan count, like how long before he starts coming out, but doesn't need it. apparently.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I have for this match. A little too much probably, but he fights off the heels by himself at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they did the Bret Hart did the suplex over the top rope, and it turned into just a weird roll up.
Yeah, it was so fucking weird.
Yeah. The only thing I had for this show was the ref. I laughed because it looked like Bret was walking him through this match. The ref looked lost at times, and it seems like he was checking in with Bret on what they were going to be doing and stuff throughout the match. So I think Bret was definitely doing that. I think also too. I was laughing at the Seahawks players with the Apple shirts on. Did you guys see that?
Like that Macintosh?
Yeah. And so I just thought that was kind of funny. So, but yeah, I thought it was a great story. They put a lot into this match. So, yeah, they put a lot into this match. So, but yeah, this was awesome, awesome match between these two, man. Sneaky good match.
It was fantastic. I love this match.
Yeah. All right.
Also, where did I go? But I'm back.
You just
like I was in space.
A second.
I know, but now apparently I was. Oh wait, Bundy is no longer in space. I was very disappointed when this promo and he's not.
He came
in space
down
anymore.
for Bundamania.
Yeah. Jesse the Body said he looks like a walking condominium coming to the ring.
I mean, he looks like a walking condom coming.
He
to
looks
the
like
ring.
Humpty Dumpty.
He does. Does he shave his eyebrows? Like,
It looks
they
like
just,
it, man. Yeah.
Like I can't talk because like I have very like blonde eyebrows anyway, so you can barely see mine.
Hey,
So
I always
shouldn't-
liked. Go ahead.
Well, I shouldn't throw extraordinarily smooth Bundy head-shaped stones at Bundy because I also have very, very fair eyebrows. But it looks like he shaves them. It's fucking
I loved
weird.
watching Hogan Bundy matches because you know what I mean. Like when WrestleMania got rolling, these guys had a lot of intense matches and stuff going on, and it was a good rivalry. So Bundy and Hogan here, AJ.
So, I also put, does Bundy shave his eyebrows so he can swim faster? Question mark. Makes sense. So right off the bat, Heenan grabs the mic and he's like, there's a huge surprise. And to the surprise of absolutely no one, Andre the Giant comes out.
Why does it say California on Heenan's on his coat? On like his, you ever notice that in like the rhinestones? It just says California.
I have no idea. Is he supposed to be from California?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it didn't look like a designer coat. I mean, obviously it was a manager's jacket, but yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. But then again, Hogan looks like a lamp from the 70s because he still has the little doodly tassels, which are amazing. He spots a bunch of nonsense. I had no idea what he's talking about, but he does have one of the best promo exits still ever. Like, remember when he would like swim out of frame?
Yeah, he would. Yep, he would like pose and then like swim out. Yeah.
Yes, or like pose and then act like someone was like jerking him off stage.
Yeah. That's great.
Pulling him off stage.
This Hulk Hogan promo against the Heenan family is where I noticed the fishnet fingerless gloves.
Yes. Have you never noticed those before?
No.
Okay.
And then the fans are going crazy during his entrance. And during the promo, he just kept talking about the new vascularity in his 24-inch pythons.
Yeah, he kept talking about the vascularity. I'm like, what? Like his veins kept...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But I said the fans are going crazy during his entrance to the ring, and Jesse Ventura says he's getting beat to death.
Yeah. Like, he
way.
really kind of was.
Yeah.
He could barely get to the ring.
Like, they were keeping the fans at bay until Hogan came out.
Yes. So, there was the pre-match hot dog and a grandstanding, which you don't often see.
Yeah.
Which is fine. The match finally starts kind of. It's just a bunch of, jaw-jacking and standoff and headlocks and... Hogan tries to slam Bundy, which doesn't work, even though he can clearly lift Bundy.
Jesse the Body says that the reason why King Kong Bundy is bald is because it's strategic, so Hogan can't pull his hair.
Jesse Ventura is so fucking awesome. I love him so much.
Oh, that was great. That was like one of my few notes.
So... This is where he tries to slam Bundy and fails, and then the crowd just starts throwing garbage.
Yeah. You just slammed Andre not long ago.
Yeah, I know.
It's failing on Bundy, but okay.
On Bundy, yeah, who was smaller. So Hogan sells for like 8.2 seconds, and it's like, all right, let the no selling commence. More garbage. Bundy only he air humps out of a couple of pin attempts. It wasn't, as pronounced, but he's still doing the air hump kick out. Also, this is also why Jesse Ventura is awesome. So Bundy had Hogan in a headlock, and Jesse Ventura differentiates between a blood choke and an air choke, and it's just that little tiny thing that he explains the difference for those two moves. I thought was really kind of a cool little touch. Also, I also wrote down Hogan is trying to grab Bundy's hair, and Jesse's like he shaves his hair first.
Yeah.
And then the Hogan formula takes over. Andre trips him, another DQ.
Yeah.
What do you guys got?
Yeah, I wrote down. I appreciate because there's only really two things I wrote down here was I appreciate how Andre was trying to be sneaky, but you can't be that big and be sneaky.
No.
And like he's looking straight forward, and then he's like, grab.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Hogan, and then I also said Hogan was chopping the hell out of King Kong Bundy.
Yes, he was. Those are the best chops that Hogan's ever done.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was destroying that chest. I like the angle that Ventura played at the end when Hogan attacked Heenan after the match. He's like, is this what Hogan wants to portray to all the little Hulkamaniacs watching this bad sportsmanship?
Yep.
Hogan not Hogan. He sucks. Ventura is the best. But yeah, after the DQ, there must be a winner, and it also must be free garbage night at Saturday Night Main Events because the crowd starts hucking just so much more garbage.
Throwing it. Yeah, they did. I was laughing too at somebody talking shit to Andre as he was leaving the arena. And Andre was turning around, and you could see him. He was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker." I was thinking that's the only time you would ever say anything to Andre because. In an environment like that, because no way would you say anything to him on the street. Because
he's probably a scary individual.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, that was my only note or last note.
So for the end of this match, I wrote, why doesn't Hogan just start the match with a Hulk up? Why doesn't he just get in and immediately go, and then do the point and block some punches, and his matches would be over in 13 seconds. However, there is no Hulk up. I mean, there's a mini Hulk up.
There was a mini
but King Kong Bundy...
see. He had tassels in his eyes.
He couldn't see to Hulk up.
His tassels were hitting him in the eyeball.
I wish everyone listening could see what both of you just did at the same time.
You...
Eric, you were hulking up and Primo had the
See, if you're not watching on Twitch, soon on YouTube, you'll see know what you're missing here.
Oh my God. I am so sorry for the people who are listening to this and not watching it because that was fucking okay, I'm fine. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. So King Kong Bundy wins with a count out, and I was like, well, okay then. And then Hogan beats up Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bundy, I don't know, plays Candy Crush or something. Bundy did nothing to help Heenan. Then Hogan music plays. Hogan must pose.
He's in the corner playing Candy Crush.
Yes. And Jesse the Body, while Hogan is, posing and hot dogging, Jesse's like, this guy fucking lost. What are you doing in there, Hogan? You're the loser of this goddamn match. And you're in there preening and posing. Oh my God. That was amazing. So what do we have next?
Last
we
match on the card.
Heenan. Well, we got the Heenan. Or we got the Mean Gene interview with Hercules.
Yes, with I wrote throw to Mean Gene with ... Hercules. Sure, he sucks. He's a no music jobber.
I wrote about this. I said Heenan was literally like moments ago attacked by Hogan, and Mean Gene was like, Heenan can't accompany you, Hercules, because he's just been injured.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mean Gene, how do you know he's been injured? He was just attacked.
Yes. Oh,
he
knows.
can still be fine.
Know.
He's on the inside.
Immediately. So they quickly throw to Bam Bam and Picklebert Humperdinck. Bam Bam's so awesome. I love Bam Bam Bigelow. I also wrote Hercules needs a mullet or a mask. If he were around today, he would wear a tap out t-shirt. I don't know why.
Oh, that's great.
Brian Bosworth absolutely loves this match, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that, but he does.
He was popping.
Bell rings, double count out to White. Oh, so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know who the heel was. You know, we found out after they started the second time. You know what I mean?
Bam Bam gets on the mic. He's like, I didn't come out here for this crap.
Yeah.
He pulled a big beef.
Yes, he did. So there's another restart, and I just put Dynamite booking, you turds. I did mark out for the Bam Bam cartwheel, though. I love the Bam Bam cartwheel.
I always like that spot, too.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Was it after this when Heenan came out with the neck brace on? Or they said it was a neck injury. Well, anyway, you remember Heenan wore the neck brace forever.
Oh, yes,
this was right after when that started. Right here when that started.
This is when, and he gets all pissed off when anyone would fuck with him and stuff.
Yep.
So there's the Bam Bam cartwheel, and then I never understood this. Like when someone hits a drop kick, they're fine. Like the person hitting the drop kick, super fine. When they miss a drop kick, it's the same bump, but then they're like, I missed.
They didn't transfer the impact.
Kayfabe. Yeah. Nobody touched their feet. Nobody touched their feet.
They didn't transfer the energy.
Right, and if it's a double drop kick, it's double the failure if you miss it. You know.
Yes, because not only are you hitting your drop kick, but you're also missing it because you also got hit with the drop kick. It's like Schrodinger's drop kick,
right?
For you science nerds out there.
Synchronized drop kicking failure.
So what do I have next?
Yeah, well, finish us up here with Hercules and Bam Bam.
So Bam Bam, he catches Herc off the top rope, gives him the old wedgie slam.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. Because all I put for this whole thing was, I said, when Bam Bam goes for the military press, he gives Hercules the biggest wedgie ever.
The biggest fucking wedgie I've ever seen.
They got to grab onto something to kind of hold him up there, you know. It's got to be his tights.
So when he hits, then I put he hits the beached whale splash. Like, I don't know if you ever see the episode of The Simpsons where Mo Sislak throws comic book guy out of the bar. And
always ask Primo this. I've never seen maybe a half a Simpson episode, no. So the answer is always no.
There's an episode of The Simpsons where comic book guy does a splash, or when Bam Bam does a splash like comic book guy. And he gets the 3. So then Bundy and Andre are in the back. Bundy cuts a shouty promo. Jesse comes back. They all talk over Mean Gene. And then again, Hulk comes in. He must have been patiently waiting off camera. He just comes right in.
Yep.
And then to end the show, Vince asks about how Bobby is. Mean Gene is like, oh, who cares? And
Mean Gene goes, oh, who cares? Yep.
I put all I have for the final interview with Hulk Hogan was, I don't know about you guys, but I get to be in Hulk Hogan's corner for his match against King Kong Bundy for the championship, because he said, you will be there.
Yes,
and 2001 Primo was like,
Me?
Yeah, me?
Don't mind if I do.
Well, that was Saturday night's main event. That was our 3rd out of 4th. Next week, we're going to wrap it up for the month. Our last Saturday night's main event, as in December, we're moving on to ECW pay-per-views. But next week, we're going to be bringing you if you want to watch it ahead of time. Saturday night's main event from February the 8th, 1992.
Yeah.
This was a famous Saturday night's main event where Sid turns on Hulk Hogan. So make sure you go check that out and follow along with us. Monday next week, new pod coming out Monday next week. We're bumping up a couple days early. So, all right,
Apparently
Primo.
there's some sort of holiday or something.
There is some sort of holiday, yep. Primo, go over the Survivor Series card here real quick, what we know so far. Now, we're not going to be making predictions about Survivor Series as we have going to be
we have official picks for the championship.
Yeah, Primo's going to be putting up the trophy for the championship, so no official picks. We're just going to talk about the card here real quick. All right, Primo, Survivor Series this Sunday.
So, yes, Survivor Series this coming Sunday. As mentioned, your guy Primo, that's me, for all you marks out there, will be putting my title on the line once again. So here we go. Survivor Series traditional 5-on-5 matchups, elimination matchups. We have the men's, which consists of Team Raw, which is Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory now, and Bobby Lashley.
Maybe. It's maybe. All these are maybe because there's flip-flopping and shim-shamming.
Well, they got to lock them in, but then we got Team SmackDown, which consists of Drew McIntyre, don't talk about Drew McIntyre, King Woods, Jeff Hardy, Happy Corbin, and a yet-to-be-determined wrestler that will probably be determined this Friday.
Bearcat.
How's Happy? Vince McMahon himself.
The SmackDown side, we have Bianca Belair on the Raw team. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina. Which, by the way, King Woods has gotten way more exposure than Queen Zelina.
I honestly forgot that she was Queen Zelina.
Yeah. Team SmackDown will have Sasha Banks, Shotzi, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and I mean Aaliyah was in there, but I'm not sure about that anymore. So the other matches are as follows. So you have the Raw versus SmackDown men's elimination traditional match. Same goes for the women's match. Then you have Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, Champion versus Champion match. All of these are Champion versus Champion matches. Big E versus Roman Reigns. That's your Universal versus WWE Champ. RK Bro, Raw Tag Team versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Jiminy and Joseph Uso.
Jiminy.
Then we have Damian Priest, the U.S. Champion, which, by the way, this was talked about 0%. Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura, IC versus U.S. Championship. The women's tag team title match is not represented.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Worst goddamn build ever.
That's the card?
That is the card.
How is that it?
I know. Like, I was expecting more.
I was too.
That is the card up to this point. More can be added on SmackDown.
Oh my God. This is
very
How
true.
is this still a Big Four? Especially this year.
I mean, it is a Big Four because it's tradition, but they're just fucking it up.
They're just like, oh, by the way, shit, we have a pay-per-view. Let's.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, it's Survivor Series already. It's like they forgot to buy Christmas presents, so they got to throw some shit together.
Yeah. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of them going to like CVS at 10:30 at night on Christmas Eve.
All right. Well, I want to remind everybody that our very next episode is going to be coming out this coming Monday, the Monday before Thanksgiving. We won't have one coming out Wednesday, so we're going to have one on Monday as well. Now it's time me and Primo had the lovely, awesome time of getting to talk to Rick Markus. He is a UK wrestler out of messing me up here, guys. He is a UK wrestler, one half of the tag team Born Ready, the Cumbrian Outlaw. He is a tag team partner of a friend of the show, RP Davies. It was really fun to get to know Rick Markus. So if you haven't learned about Rick Markus, learn about this man now. He is also a fitness trainer. Really, really cool interview here. So let's let you guys listen to our conversation with Rick Markus.
All right, here we go. Today, I got an awesome interview here for you. We're bringing in the Cumbrian Outlaw, Rick Markus. Welcome to the show, brother. Thanks for being on today, man.
No problem at all. My absolute pleasure. Pleasure.
Glad to have you here, man. We're going to talk about your background. We're going to talk about, your wrestling influences and everything you got going on these days. Let me bring in my co-host here for the interview. Primo, what's going on, brother? You excited for Rick Markus here?
Yes, sir. Absolutely excited. Very thankful that you came on the pod today. We're excited to get to know you a little better, and let's have a good talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've been looking forward to it. RPD was saying some good stuff about you. I actually spoke to him this morning, and I said I'm on with you guys today, and he was like, "Oh, you'll love it. You'll have a good time." So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, man, he is a good dude, man. We've really enjoyed having him on the pod, and we had to have the other member of the tag team, Born Ready, which we'll get into that later. So had to have you on, man. So finally glad to have you here.
No, like I said, man, absolute pleasure.
What you gonna say, Primo?
I was gonna say, yeah, RP is a friend of ours now.
He's a friend. He's a friend of everyone. I'm telling you. There's not a single person. I've never met anyone that gets on with so many people in my life. It's madness.
He's a man of the people, huh?
Yeah,
a man of the people.
Good
All
guy.
right, Rick. Let's Rick, man. First of all, just tell us where you're from and just a little bit about yourself to get started here for the American fans and also the UK fans that that might not know who Rick Markus is yet.
Yeah, I'm from a small town in Cumbria, in the northwest of England, called Barrow-in-Furness. Grew up there. Literally, I moved away from there 4 months ago. So I lived there all my life until I was 33, and then I decided to move away. So it's near like the Lake District, so it's a nice area, but it was a little cul-de-sac, and the northwest.
It's on the
of
Water.
England, so
it's a town on the water, right? Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So my house that I own there, you walk out and you're at the beach. You know what I mean? You're a 30-second walk from the beach. So it's a nice place to live. I always grew up there, and but I'm in the Midlands now, so I'm about half an hour from Birmingham. That's where I'm living now in the UK.
Very cool, very cool. Well, Rick, we've been watching, here for a while. Been watching kind of what's been going on with you wrestling wise. Where did the wrestling dream start, man? Why did you get into this crazy business?
Well, I was a massive fan when I was a kid. Massive fan. I remember the first time I saw Hulk Hogan VHS tape. Some of his matches, like Roddy Piper, there's King Kong Bundy on there. There's all these kinds of people. It was the same match.
You're talking my language, man. I like it.
Yeah, it was the same match again and again and again. He gets beat up for 5 minutes, hulks up, wins, and it was just like I just couldn't get enough of it. I thought it was brilliant. It was great. And then when I was 10 years old, that's when the Attitude Era was happening. Then I became obsessed with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I started with like a lot of people did. I was in the UK. The Monday Night Wars were actually aired on a Friday night, if you will. So it was from 9 p.m. To 10 p.m. I'd watch the first hour of WCW, and then at 10 o'clock I'd put Raw on. So it was it was a cool time to be growing up watching wrestling. It was good.
Yeah, it really was, man. I mean, a lot of people got into wrestling at that time. That's the reason why a lot of us, still love wrestling to this day. So explain to me, Rick, the Cumbrian Outlaw. We know where the Cumbrian comes from. Where'd the outlaw part come from?
Do you know, it was one of them things that, I've been wrestling for 5 years now, and it was trying to find my own image, find my own place. And it just seemed to fit. It just seemed to fit. So over the last...
I think it definitely fits, yeah.
Well, the whole outlaw thing, it only came over the last 18 months or so, while it happened while COVID was happening, if you will. So it was it's a new part of me, a new persona, so I just feel like I've got two different sides of me. I've got this side that most people, see in my personal life and backstage wrestling and whatnot. But then when, I'll flip the switch and I can be a mean motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? Don't mind.
That's
might
right.
bleep out. I don't know.
No, that's okay, brother. Let it fly.
So it's And that's just where it came from. It's just it's the way I channel my head. So it's like before I come out, I become that Rick Markus Cumbrian Outlaw character. And I grew up in the pub trade as well. So it was like, I saw some bar fights, people getting thrown out and all that kind of stuff. And, it was, I don't have a motorcycle or anything like that. So I'm not in like part of a motorcycle club or anything like that. Like I get asked that quite a bit. I'm not. It just all seemed to resonate, and it just came together, that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think the nickname totally fits you. I love the Ram mascot kind of thing that you got logo going on there. I think it totally fits you, man.
The story with the Ram is the pub I grew up in was called the Ram's Head. So that was where the influence came for that, So I was like, well, I want something. I was like, I can't just do a skull with a beard on it because everyone that's got a bald head and a beard's got a skull and a beard.
Right.
And also as well, like sometimes when my beard gets too long, I'm like, I'll balls to it and shave it off. So that makes no sense. So I was like, well, I'll do a ram's skull. It'll look pretty badass. My brother's got the ram's head thing tattooed across his chest. So it's quite similar to my brother's tattoo as well. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's really cool, man. It totally fits you. So, Rick, for anybody that's never seen you wrestling before, if they're listening to you for the first time, how would you explain your wrestling style? Like, who would you kind of think that your style is similar to?
I do a lot of brawling style, and it sounds such a cliche thing to say, but when you look at the likes, Stone Cold Steve Austin and people like that, it's like you're not going to see me landing Canadian destroyers and moonsaults and whatnot. In fact, I tried to do a moonsault once and managed to break my hand, so that's so it's one of them things. I like brawling, hitting hard, suplexes,
strong
things
style,
like that.
stiff.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Nice and snug. You're not going to see me.
Nice and snug. Yeah.
I don't throw many kicks or anything like that. I think my hamstrings are tearing off if I try to throw any high kicks or anything. So, I'm not. It's literally no nonsense. Go to work. That's the way I do things.
You go out there and beat somebody up.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense for me as well. Don't get me wrong. Like there are some flashy things I can do, but there's people that could do it much better than me. So I let them do their thing. If I come out the way I look and start flipping all over the place and hitting Canadian destroyers and things, that's not what I loved about wrestling growing up. I loved the characters. Do you know what I mean? My favorite match is Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock WrestleMania 17. They do 4 different moves. That's a punch, a kick, a rock bottom, and a stunner. There's nothing else happens in the match, but it's my favorite. So that's the kind of thing that resonates for me.
Nice.
Not gymnastics.
Nice. I love it, man. What's your favorite part about being a wrestler, man? Is it kicking ass, or what's your favorite part about your style?
I love being in the ring and the buzz that brings in the crowd.
Sure.
It's another cliche thing to say, but it is about the crowd. You see a lot of shows that were done. Obviously, WWE did it. Progress have been doing it, where there's like no fans. And I couldn't do that. It's fair play to them, for being able to do it. Perhaps I would have adapted to it, but that's not why I enjoy it. I enjoy it because of the atmosphere and the fans. Like the Odyssey crowd that I've met, they're absolutely bonkers, like insanely bonkers. And I know everyone says that about the home promotions and whatnot, but the thing is as well, when they're coming up to you and they're getting photographs with you, they want you to sign things. They don't realize that on a Monday you go back to your day job, but to them you're a superhero. It's like
Sure.
they got to meet the wrestlers. They got to do this. Whether I'm portraying a good guy, bad guy, whatever.
Right.
It's the fact that you can affect it. That's why I like doing family shows, because you affect these kids' lives and they remember that. And that's bigger than me being a wrestler for my own ego. It's like don't get me wrong, there is part of it where every wrestler's got this thing where they like being the center of attention, and they do. And if you say they don't, they're bullshitting. And it's
right.
And it feels good to be able to leave a mark on them. It's really
Sure,
good.
right.
And I think that's why a lot of wrestlers struggle, like after shows and things like that, when you've got all this adulation and everything on top of you, and then you might go back to a hotel room and you sat there on your own and you're like, shit, you know. And I
Right.
think,
the come down is a little hard.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you put all this training and you put all this time, and then you come to, it might come to a 20-minute match one week. It might come to a 5-minute squash one week. You know what I'm saying? But it varies. But yeah, I can see how that notoriety is there, and then once you kind of shut the car door to go back to your real life, you go, I can see how that would be hard to kind of come back from.
Yeah, it's one of them things as well. It's like after a show, like at the moment, I've got a black eye at the moment for wrestling.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
and that stupidly enough, that was from the local. Believe it or not.
Oh wow, yeah. He punched you on the way in.
Yeah, he just caught me in the eye on the way in, and then I grabbed. Yeah, but to be honest, it kind of riled me up from the start, so I was quite up for it after that. It was one of them. I think like when a boxer takes a punch and right, we're here now, let's go. It was.
I'm ready.
But then like I jump in the car on the way home. Like I do most of my traveling for wrestling shows. I travel on my own, so I do like a few hour car journeys here and there, and I'll just sit there. I never. After a show, I always listen to something like Magic FM or something soothing, Smooth FM or something like that.
Sure.
And I just I allow myself to come down and gradually relax. I don't let myself just drop. It's like I kind of do a thing where I really try and stay present with everything I'm doing. So when I'm traveling home, I'm thinking about how the show went. I'm thinking about, I speak to my partner and stuff like that. It just levels me off. So.
Yeah.
I don't wrestle to fill a void. I do it because I love it, and it's one part of many different things I've got going on in my life.
Yeah, that's great, man. Those are great qualities to have as a wrestler, man. But let's talk about what's going on in the world of wrestling, man. Who are you watching? What American promotions do you like the most? Who are your favorite wrestlers on TV right now?
Do you know, it's one of them things where it's like I don't watch it as much as I used to because I was a massive WWE fan, always WWE, and like even as AEW were coming through the last few years, I was always WWE. But in the last 6 months or something, I think WWE's been shit. If I'm being totally honest, I think beyond Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, it's just. And it's not the wrestler's fault. I just think it's very, very, very watered down now. Where I understand that it's for families and whatnot, but it's almost watered down to the point where if you're not with your child, I could happily watch WWE with like my stepson or something like that quite happily.
Sure.
But I wouldn't sit and watch it on my own now. But I'd sit and watch AEW on my own maybe. But but only certain wrestlers though. It's like, I look at the superstars rather than. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'd rather watch something on the network from 15, 20 years ago than and beyond that. And the thing is as well, actually in the UK, it's harder to watch AEW. It's not like readily available like on the cable channels and Sky channels and all that kind of stuff.
Because WWE has deals where they are on other networks over there, and I don't know if AEW has that yet.
Yeah, they're on like Sky Sports, but if you to watch AEW, you can watch it, but it's like about 10 days later than it was recorded, so you've already seen the spoilers if you go on YouTube or whatever. And the pay-per-views are on like Fight TV. And Fight TV is far too expensive. It's too expensive for what it is, Yeah. So, but I think if they had a decent platform in the UK where they could be on live and whatnot, I think they make a killing because the guys that are coming into there now, Bryan Danielson and Punk and everything, it's really cool at the moment,
Yeah, it is. It's getting hot here for sure. All right, Rick, let's talk about what's going on here with you, man. You've been wrestling for Odyssey Pro Wrestling, Superstar Pro, and others, man. And we've been following along, seeing some really cool benefits for some people you guys have been doing, which leads me to the show that's coming up this weekend, November the 20th in Blackpool. It's Odyssey Pro presents Peer Fear in memory of Jordan Banks. Rick, can you explain a little bit about that card? what you guys are doing for Jordan Banks. I heard it just sold out, man. So that is awesome news.
Yeah, it's sold out. It's sold out so quick. And the thing is, as well, it's sold that well that fake accounts have been trying to tout tickets as well to try and sell them on and all kind of, you know, it's like, you know, which is it's flattering, but at the same time, it's like, behave yourselves, you robbing bastards. You know
Yeah,
I mean?
no,
But,
yeah. Realize what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's for charity. It's you know,
sure.
But I'm so excited for it. Like I say, it's sold out. Jordan's family are going to be there. All of his football or soccer team are going to be there. Like we've sorted all that out for them. We've got like a raffle that was the prize was donated from William Regal. And
I've seen that.
So
Very
that's,
cool.
So that's absolutely awesome. And the card it's just going to be a special night. We've already got like the GoFundMe page up and running on like the Odyssey website and things like that. So we're already it's the least we can do. And like I say, RPD's local from that area, so it's something he wanted to do as well. And everyone at Odyssey's just kind of, you know, come in with it. And as well, and the fact it's sold out, it was meant to be a one-off show. We might go to Blackpool once a year now. You know, it's
sure.
It's really cool. So yeah, the cards, we've got quite a few local lads on that show, and girls, and it's going to be a crazy night.
It is, man. Let's talk about the main event. You and your partner RPD, better known as Born Ready, are taking on Synergy and Reese and Rogan. Man, talk to me about this TLC match, man. What's the plan here?
Seemed like a good idea at the time. as it's getting closer, I think it's going to be a heavy night. I think driving home from that one's going to be might
be a sore one riding home, huh?
Might be a sore one. It's I'm buzzing for it. You know, one of my favorite matches as a kid was WrestleMania 17 TLC with you know, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boy. So it's one of them things. It's like, you know, the average age of these three teams are more around the 30 mark rather than the 20. So it's really nostalgic for us guys. You know, we've spoken of that and we're like, Jesus Christ, what are we getting ourselves in for? But everyone's super excited. Synergy, two big, strong boys are absolutely class.
Yeah, they are.
And Reese and Rogan are just two absolute brutes. And then, you know, being RPD is, you know, we're going into that match as the smaller guys, which
quick and fast.
You know, RPD's quick and fast. I'm just going to have to swing for the hedges and just see what happens, like, and hope something sticks. But
yeah, man,
it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Like I say, it's sold out. We've all got family. We've all got family coming to watch the show. Because we go and do all these different shows, and a lot of the time you're on yourself, or you're with, like, you know, your friends and your peers and whatnot. But having some family there, and that's going to be nice for this one. So
super cool, man. Super cool. All right, well, you guys heard me just call the tag team Born Ready. Rick, explain to us real quick, man. How did Born Ready come about? Where'd the name come from with you and RPD?
Yeah, well, Born Ready was so me and RPD. We only met about 2.5 years ago, maybe, working for a wrestling company called In Out Wrestling. That they're no longer trading. They unfortunately came away during when COVID was starting up. And I just remember thinking, you know, he went out of his way to be really nice, really kind. You know, we spoke very briefly, and it left an impression because he was just a decent person, you know. And it's like, there's a lot of decent people in wrestling, but it really stood out to me that this guy's just a normal, down to earth like fella. And then we both joined this I think called the 36-week physique, which is basically a body transformation thing. Because we had nothing to do in lockdown, it was like, well, we need to look after ourselves, keep ourselves fit. So we were in like a closed group. We were in like a closed group during that, and we just started talking, started chatting. Realized that we're on the same wavelength, like outside of wrestling as well. So we just speak as friends now. Do you know what I mean? We very rarely even speak to each other about wrestling. We're just friends. And then
mates, yep.
And then it kind of like spiraled from there. We were doing some like promo classes and whatnot. So a guy called Chris Brooker, who also he does a little bit in Odyssey as well, and he's one of the guys that runs Future Shock Wrestling in the UK. He was doing like promo classes. We did like a tag team one, if you will, and came up with the name Born Ready. You know, because it kind of worked for our personalities and that. You know, it's so that's where it came from, and now it's one of them things where, you know, we lean on each other for advice and we speak to each other. You know, so it's not even just like a tag team now. We're just great friends, and it's cool to be going for this ride with your friends. So we're starting to get on more promotions together, and it's nice just having each other's back, you know, and it makes it more enjoyable. Even if we're not teaming together when we're both on a show, it makes it more enjoyable for us both anyway. You know, it's always a good time. So
yeah, let's talk about that, man. You know, you said you guys are both on a show. Let's rewind here a little bit. You know, sometimes in wrestling, you got to wrestle your buddies, and you guys had to wrestle each other at Superstar Pro Wrestling. The card was called Atmosphere. You know, was this the first time you guys had wrestled each other kind of on a bigger stage? And which, you know, I think this is going to be one of many, but, you know, just talk about that night real quick, wrestling RPD that night.
Yeah, that was special. It was special for a lot of reasons, really. You know, it was, we'd wrestled each other before in training, but we'd never done it in front of a crowd. And so that the week before Atmosphere, it was both our debuts on for Superstar as well. And but our friend passed away the week before, like a mutual friend. So he was another guy that was on this 36-week physique with us, and he sadly passed away. So we kind of dedicated the match and everything to him. We went there. It was our first match ever for that company, and they put us in the main event.
Wow.
Mark, who sadly passed, his wife was there, and it was everything just aligned for just a real good time. The promoter was really happy with it. We were really happy with it, you know. After we did a little bit,
we got to see a lot of it over here on clips and stuff, man. You guys put on a nice match, man. It was very well done, gentlemen.
Yeah, it was one of them things as well. At the start of the match, we just did a little tribute. I went at the corner, I was a bit choked up, and then it was like, you know, I had to kind of rattle my head around and like know that, you know, as much as we're friends, he's an incredible competitor, and you just got to look at his background. Like, you know, he comes across as really nice guy and that, but he can kick the shit out if he needs to, obviously. Do you know what I mean? So I had to rattle my head and say, right, let's go. It's time to compete. And, you know, I came up short that night, but, you know, it was about so much more than that. So it was really cool.
It definitely was, man.
And I'll get my own back on him. You know what I mean? We'll get there. I'm sure I'll be beating him one day. So.
Yeah. Our condolences to you for your loss, by the way, man. But it was a very, very nice tribute that night. I seen what you guys did there, and for the emotions and everything involved with that match, man, you guys did a phenomenal job, man. So
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, just want to let you guys know. So one more thing here, man. I want to tell you, and we'll kick you over to Primo. You know, yeah, like we talked about, I think you guys got a lot more matches against each other, but I think you guys got a lot of tag team titles to win before we start going at each other too much here. You know, my personal, you know, preference, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do as a tag team, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it away, Primo.
All right, Rick. Let's talk real quick. I want to go back, actually. Something I really liked that you said a little while ago was talking about how, you know, kids thinking, you know, you're a superhero, you know, and you really going out, taking the time to meet them and stuff. And I have two kids myself, so to them, you know, this could be their first show ever, and they think that you guys are actually, like you said, superheroes, larger than life. So y'all are creating core memories for these kids that they're never going to forget, and that's awesome. And I just want to say that, you know, I appreciate that you really enjoy that, because it means a lot to those kids, and it means a lot to the parents too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I really do appreciate it.
But let's get on to some outside the ring stuff here. What Disney songs do you listen to while working out, and besides Go the Distance?
Shot myself in the foot with that comment, didn't I? He got me last week when I was in a mood, like in a pissing around kind of mood. So I probably said too much. I don't really listen to it. I was making
yeah.
AC/DC and Rammstein. That's all I listen to.
There you go.
Rammstein, yeah, I dig that, man. I love it.
Honestly, to be fair, it depends on what mood I'm in. In fact, like it was a genuine comment. It's like the other day, like I said, I was doing a quad session the other day, and it was a nasty, horrible one, and I was actually listening to Slipknot. But if I'm doing long, steady state bouts of cardio, I will listen to easy listening stuff. And if that happens to be Disney, it's Disney. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Whether it's Moana, Beauty and the Beast, I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like, as long as it calms me and I can just steadily go there, I don't get too aggressive. I keep it a nice, steady state. It's all for the mental state. That's what it is.
I mean, most Disney songs, they all have, a similar message. They never give up.
Of course
things,
they do.
so,
It's inspired. It's inspiring. And the thing is, there's a lot of fellas that pretend they don't, and they're full of shit. So I'm you know what I mean? I'm just
right.
right. So in fact, actually, I spoke to RPD earlier. He's gone to Disney on Ice today, so don't let him make out that he's tough guy.
So all right. What is what kind of hobbies do you have outside of wrestling and working out?
I don't get much more time for much more. I go out walking every day with my dog. I've got a little chocolate Labrador. We go out walking all the time. He's insane. You know what I mean? I leave him for 5 minutes and he's eating a ball or something like that. And
yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's a lab.
Well, when I was younger, I used to, growing up in a pub, I used to play darts. I played pool, like
nice.
county level and all that kind of stuff. I used to play football, soccer in the UK, and played a good level there. Played rugby union. I used to do loads, to be fair, but now, like, because I run a fitness business as well, so it's like between doing like online coaching, personal training, wrestling, family life, there's not a lot more room. But I see wrestling as a paid hobby, essentially. Do you know? It's like, because I enjoy it. It's like, so when I used to play rugby, I'd travel away every weekend anyway, but in the beer on the way back and the costs to play, it was costing me money to travel. And so now I just see it as like, I get to travel, do what I enjoy to do. If anything grand ever comes from it, then fantastic. But if not, I'm enjoying the ride anyway. It's I don't put too much pressure on myself. If anything ever was to happen NXT UK or anything like that, fantastic, absolute great. Do you know what I mean? I'll be on that. But that's not the be all and end all for me. It's I'm in a business that I'm very, very passionate about. That I literally only started it 6 months ago. That was from sitting there and deciding I'm not happy in the job that I'm doing. I'm not happy living where I'm living. And I just took a massive step. I thought, you know what, I'm going to change everything. And it's
awesome.
kind of working out for me,
Yeah, buddy, absolutely.
Really
it's working out
really
for
cool.
you.
So our sit down marks, we call them the marks out there. They hear this in every interview we do, so they got to know: pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes or waffles?
Yes, sir.
Well, the thing, waffles in the UK, right? So you've got like, you got about like the sweet waffles, that you have like syrup on and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, they don't have, like, you don't see them that often, So it's like, actually they have like potato waffles in the UK. So it's basically like chips or whatever, but shaped in a waffle. But so it's got to be pancakes for me, just because in the UK it's like, they celebrate Pancake Day and all that kind of stuff. So so I'm going to go with pancakes based off the premise that I imagine most UK people say that, and I've had more exposure to them.
That's a quality answer. That's great. If someone were to write a biography about you, what would the title be?
Tough one. I don't know. You only live once, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, you're going for it, trying to make stuff happen. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the things. And I said this the other day. I said this to my partner. It was like, I don't want to get to that point where I've worked all my life, I've earned all right money, I've got a house, family, and all that's fine, but I'm laying there on my deathbed, and it's like you just kind of rode through it. It's like, I've just signed up to do natural bodybuilding competitions next summer.
Cool.
Because I've always wanted to do bodybuilding, but I didn't want to use steroids and whatnot. So I've found a federation to do natural bodybuilding. So I'm doing that. I do my wrestling. It's like I need things to just focus my mind. So when it's all said and done, I can turn around and say, you know what, I did everything I wanted to do. And I've got a saying that I always say, and I'd rather regret the things I did do than the things I didn't. So that's kind of
Absolutely,
how
man. Yeah,
my life
building the journey.
That's it. That's it. Somebody actually said to me, he said, you know what I mean? Just jump out the aeroplane and find the parachute on the way down. It's like, so.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool, man. What kind of favorite foods do you like?
I've got a sweet tooth, so like chocolate, sweets, all that kind of,
Me too.
all that kind of stuff. So it's like, my problem is, though, I avoid them now, though, because, like I say, 'cause I'm doing the bodybuilding one, so everything's really regimented. But like, if I do eat them, I can't just have like one chocolate bar. I need to buy the big grab bags. I need to buy the massive bags of fish. It's like if I go, if you buy a cake, I'm not like, sometimes you a little sliver of cake, I find it insulting. I want like half of it if I'm going to have it. It's
right.
It's one of that. Rather than having a little bit now and then, it's like, right, if I'm coming off my diet for an evening, I'm going to do it all out to the point that I feel that ill at the end of it that I'll never want to eat sugar at least for another month.
Right.
So like, I just go all out. But,
you make that one time worth it for a little bit.
Yeah, but like when you go on about proper foods and things like that, fillet steaks and all that kind of stuff, it's like, you mix grills and. I'm a big meat eater.
Oh yeah. RPD said his favorite was pizza. Does he share any slices with you during cheat meals?
Do you know what? I'm not a huge pizza guy, to be honest.
No. Okay.
No. To be fair, right? I enjoy pizza. I do. I enjoy it while I'm eating it. It tastes great, but it's one thing that makes me feel lousy after I've had it. I always feel like bloated and horrible,
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's the carbs and the cheese and the
it's just a bit heavy on me. And the thing is, when I'm very regimented with my nutrition, so when I have something like that, my body's like, whoa, what the fuck's this? Do you know what I mean? I don't know everything going. So, but the time it's fantastic. It's just the next day or so, my stomach's not so happy with me.
Right.
What if you could have any entrance song ever made, what would you have for your entrance?
Any entrance song? It's a tough one, because I really like the song that I've got at the moment. I'm using "Still Unbroken" by Leonard Skinner at the moment, and it gets me fired. Yeah, it gets me fired up.
Yeah, see, I've seen a bunch of your clips, Rick, but none of them I've seen your entrance. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So hopefully with the streams, we will.
Yeah, well, that was only off the back of COVID, so I've only used that for about 5 or 6 shows.
Okay.
Now. Okay. But it really fires me up, and then there was one particular show. It was the first time I ever worked as a face. And he just said to me, like, on the day, I actually went there with the intention of working heel. Somebody pulled out and they were like, oh, we need a face to go into this spot. I said, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. Sure. And they were like, what music do you have? Because my music was very much like quite stoic, nasty, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, so off the top of my head, I picked Back in Black by AC/DC because I just love the beat. So I'd probably say that because it's like, I used it once for my entrance. I'll never use it again. But for that night, it was like, it's like when it goes boom, boom, and then it kicks in, it's like, it's cool.
Yeah, everybody knows that song too, man. So everybody knows that song.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it was one of them, the crowd loved me before I even stepped through the curtain because they were excited by the music, which I think is like half the battle.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it is.
You get the crowd all fired up and they're on your side.
Exactly, just off a piece of music, So
if they're fired up before they even see your face, man, you already won.
I mean, and those are some iconic riffs. So we like you hear that, you're just it's cool.
Yeah,
just by your music choices, we would get along in a car ride.
Yeah,
Speaking of car ride, when you're on your way, show to show or show going home, and you're sitting alone, you're sitting alone in your car. What kind of stuff do you think about? You think about the next show, you think about how the show went, or you kind of like compartmentalize wrestling and think about real life?
Yeah, I try to just control my emotions and bring myself back down, to be honest. So like the last Odyssey show was such a high that like luckily like my missus was actually with me for that show, so I was driving home and it was just like, I try to just center my thoughts, and like, there's been times when it's been a bad night as well, and I just have to, because I look forward to every single show. So if I have a bad night and I'm driving home, I used to get really irritated with myself because it's like, oh, that wasn't fun. But it's, I just try and center everything, remember everything I've got going on. I practice a lot of gratitude as well. You know what I mean? I remember, I do sometimes remember what's important and things like that. And, and it's like I say, it's not just the wrestling for me. So it's just, when you get messages off the fans, somebody sent me a picture that they drew of us, me and RPD the other day, and I'd say it's just nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
people are,
for sure.
Then people are literally thinking about you to the point that they want to draw a picture of you. It's like,
yeah.
I never thought people would do that for me when I was at school. It's
that actually brings me to my next question, which is like, you ever, which obviously you mentioned you do, but like, you ever stop and you think like, like, wow, like, holy crap, I'm doing this,
Yeah, it's mad actually, because like the way you can affect people's lives is absolutely crazy, and it's like, I don't, no matter how big it gets, I'd never think myself as like famous or anything like that. But it's like when you see people drawing pictures of you and things like that, and it's like within this little circle, they all know who you are. And like when you leave the building, I know like my missus, it was her first show, the last Odyssey show. And she couldn't believe it when we came out, and everyone that was in the street that had been at the show were like all wanting to talk to me, and it was almost quite funny for her because she just knows me as like, I'm not the Cumbrian Outlaw.
My man is a celebrity.
No, to be fair, she just took the piss out of me, to be honest. But it was like, but she's not like, she doesn't see the Cumbrian Outlaw Rick Markus. She sees like, Ricky Halfpenny. You know what I mean? She sees that person. So, so
that's good.
It's cool.
Speaking of real quick, if you ever wanted to change your gimmick, Ricky Halfpenny sounds like a really cool wrestler name. If you ever wanted to use that one, by the way, I think it's cool.
Do you know what it was actually? Because growing up at school, people always say, "Oh, you're not worth a full penny," and all. It's just like piss take and everything. My surname, it used to always irritate me. And then when I got into wrestling, it was like, "Oh, what shall I use?" And that, and like, Mark's my middle name, and it was also my uncle's name that I lost when I was young. So I was like, yeah, I'll go with that. And then like, I was like, do you know what? Halfpenny's totally different. I could have just gone with my actual name, and it would have saved a lot of messing around when people are trying to find me on social media and speak to me or promoters and that, because they're looking for Rick Markus, and you get onto like a wrestling fan page or whatever, rather than like, you try to actually find me directly. So, if I had my time again, I probably would have just used the normal name. But now that I've got a little bit of traction, I can't really go back. So
can't go back now, man. No, you're the outlaw
name.
now.
Yeah,
it is.
Nice. Real quick, I got two last questions here before I pass you back to Dirty. First one is, because I love tag teams. One of my favorites of all time is the Hardys. You mentioned the TLC earlier. So when you guys are, when you formed your tag team, and even nowadays, whenever you are preparing for a show, what kind of film do you study on tag teams? And what tag teams do you have inspiration from?
Well, when I was young, it was like, I actually really liked the New Age Outlaws when I was a kid. Like, because what I liked about them was they were different.
You didn't know?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it was like, they were different, but they complemented each other. It weren't, you get a lot of tag teams that are unbelievable, like LOD and with Road Warriors and whatnot, but it's like two of the same people, if you will. Mm-hmm. Whereas I very much like the teams that complemented each other, but were different. So like New Age Outlaws, I loved as a kid. but then like more recently, like one that me and RPD watch quite a bit is DIY. So like Ciampa and Gargano, because there's similarities there. Like I'm a bit more of a hothead and a bit more of a brute at times, really. And he's very precision, picks his spots,
Sure,
knows when to throw, know when to go. Where I'm a bit more emotionally charged.
That's a really good comparison.
That is, man. Like, yeah. And I won't be able to unsee that now. Every time I see DIY, I'll think
you need to grow your beard out a little more, and you can be Ciampa.
Well, it's funny because like my beard was about that long at one point. I had to cut it off because my skin was dreadful underneath. So I was like, shit, I need to start again. But like that was kind of it was we kind of actually looked like him a little bit as well. It was mad, but it was like from a stylistic standpoint as well, and like the way the story is almost going for us. There's a lot of parallels,
Yeah, awesome.
All right, last one. You don't really have to answer this. It's just busting balls, but in your team, born ready, between you and RP, who's Batman and who's Robin?
He's Batman on camera. I'm Batman off camera.
Oh, there you go. Perfect answer.
Good answer.
That's the way you answer that question.
Yeah. He's do you know what? I'm very, very like, he's such a marketable, good looking geezer and everything like that.
Yeah,
it's like
he is white meat baby face.
From that standpoint, he's a megastar. Do you know what I mean? He's like he's a obviously, horses for courses, but like he's a John Cena kind of thing where it's like kids will love him, some dads will be jealous of him and probably boo him. It's like it's one of them kind of things where it's like with me, it's kind of like it's different levels and it works well together. But he's brought the best out of me in like even like I've changed my gear and things like that to be a bit more of a superstar, if you will, and things like that. And like, but then behind the scenes, it's like he hasn't been in wrestling that long, so like I give him a lot of advice from that end and bits like that. So it's like behind the scenes.
And he can help you with your boxing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's taught me so much about about how to market yourself and how to be a superstar and things like that. And it's like that's from his own personal background and everything like that. And and it's I'm at mindset wise as well, helped me massively with my mindset and like not to get worked up about certain issues that happen and things like that are out of our control. So it's So there's your answer.
That's a great answer, man. That was really good.
He's Batman on camera. I'm Batman off camera. We'll take that.
Perfect. All right, DB, what you got?
All right, man. Looking past this weekend's TLC match, Rick, you are still in the Odyssey Pro Wrestling Championship tournament. RPD lost last time, but your next battle is going to be December the 4th, man. They're going to be back in Morecambe for Buried Treasure. You're looking forward to that big card.
Yeah, I am. It's going to be a crazy night. So like the first two Odyssey Pro Wrestling champions are going to be that night. So there's a great four-way women's match for the first ever women's champion, and then we've got the rest of the tournament as well. So I'm facing 2-bit there as well. So we started out at Knockout Wrestling together, me and 2-bit. He was only about 14 years old at the time. I was 27 or whatnot, so I've known him since he was a kid. But we've never actually wrestled each other one-on-one. So I'm really looking forward to that. And he's turned into an absolute megastar, and he's only like 20-odd years old. So he's going on to big things as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to that night. And the crowd are a different level there. It's like, I watched the clip of Ryan Hunter winning the main event of the last show, literally last night. Our videographer sent me it. And honestly, the way the fans celebrate when he wins, it's like they've just won the World Cup. They're jumping up. It's like a football crowd. They're jumping up, they're hugging each other, they're high-fiving. It's not like it's not like, oh, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, awesome, man. Looking forward to seeing how that one all shakes out. Let me ask a couple little questions here, Rick, and then we're going to get to the end of the pod. Do you watch any American sports, like any American football, baseball, anything? I know you said you're a busy man. you don't have time, but just wondering if you watch anything over here.
I
other than wrestling.
I don't watch American football or baseball, but when it is on, I do watch a bit of NBA basketball because my two best friends, the group of my best friends from where I'm from, they were like European basketball champions. A couple of them played for England and everything. So I've got a vested interest in the NBA. I like to watch basketball, but beyond that, not really. It's rugby and soccer tend to be my sports that I watch.
Nice. All right. You said you watched WWE. You just seen did you see all the recent releases they just had, man? I think they cut about 20 people. Just some of your thoughts on that, being a wrestler, man, when they let that many guys go, man.
I don't want to talk too much about the business aspects of it and that, because the same budget cuts and all that, and you get a lot of podcasters, YouTubers, whatever they want to call them, where it's like, they're criticizing them, say, oh, they've made profit, they shouldn't be letting people go. Look, business models are business models, so it's the way it is. But from a wrestling fan standpoint, which is essentially what I'll always be, I just think they're wasting so many people. I think there's so much. Yeah. I think if you can't make Karrion Kross an absolute megastar, you need to give up what you're doing. Like,
hey, preach, brother, preach. I'm a huge Cross fan. Primo can tell you.
Yeah, like he's a big lad, decent looking lad. He wrestles like an absolute superstar. I don't understand what Vince didn't get in it, because it seems like he's right up his street. Right. And then you got people like Keith Lee, and I just feel like they dropped the ball on so many people. It's just madness, and some of the guys who just repackaging that, like the new NXT and it's like, but looking at NXT and looking at some of the contracts that are coming up, like Kyle O'Reilly, Gargano, and that, I don't, and Kevin Owens is probably the biggest one. They're not going to hang around. They're there. Like right. if there's a sniff they could be in AEW with the friends, they're going to go.
Yeah, they absolutely.
And I'm just confused with everything that's happened this year. Like some of the releases and that. It's more confusing than anything. I understand business models, and I understand they probably have far too many wrestlers in the system that are unnecessary because they signed too many the other year. But I don't understand some of the people they're getting rid of.
Likewise, I agree, and then it's hard to see the direction.
That's what it is. I don't know where they're going to go from here. I don't see it as getting rid of Deadwood and now we push on. It's like a lot of lost opportunities, I think.
Yeah. All right, Rick, I got one last question for you, man. We're going to finish up here today. Who's the dream match, man? Anybody alive, dead, wrestling today? Like, if you could have one wrestling match with anybody in the world ever, who would it be?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No question.
Would you take the stunner? Would you let him go over?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Attaboy. Me too, man. I wouldn't want to be a smile on my face. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Great answer. Well, Rick, man, we really appreciate you being on the pod today. I want to plug your Twitter. Rick Markus, RickMarkus1, Rick Markus 1 on Twitter. You want to plug anything else? Any other social medias or anything you got out there, Rick?
Yeah, just same on Instagram and same on Facebook. Really, if you just search Rick Markus 1, you'll find me. You'll find me on there.
Any other your business, anything you want to plug at all is fine too.
Yeah, just also. Ricky_halfpenny_fitness as well on Instagram. I do online coaching and everything there as well with some great successes. So if anybody's looking for an online coach or anything like that, get onto there as well and drop me a message and we'll chat. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. We'll definitely go.
Obviously as well, Odyssey Pro Wrestling. So I'm heavily involved with Odyssey Pro Wrestling as well, and one of the stakeholders in there. So get all over that as well.
All right. Well, I think eventually, Rick, we got to have you and RPD both on here, man. Maybe after you guys get some gold, man. Maybe after you guys strap up a little bit, we'll bring you back on the show, man. We'll talk to both of you guys, man. That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Good luck this weekend in the TLC match. Go get that W, and then good luck December the 4th with Odyssey Pro Wrestling, man. Go win that championship. We really appreciate, again, you being on the show. Go follow the Cumbrian Outlaw, Rick Markus. Thank you so much for being on the pod today, brother. Hope to talk to you again soon.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it.
Man, that was a really fun interview with Rick Markus. I want to thank Rick Markus for coming on the pod. Primo, man, we gotta, and AJ, we gotta get RP and Rick Markus both here on together at some point.
Oh, that'd be so fucking.
Yeah,
cool.
I have to agree. I want the I want the Born Ready team on the pod. I mean, at this point, we're all friends here, so. Get RP and Cumbrian Outlaw back on the pod together.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If they were to agree to that, that would be so cool.
By the way, how cool was Rick Markus to talk to? He was a really chill guy.
Yeah, laid back, super cool, man. I don't envy him though. This weekend he's they got that big ladder match there at Pier Fear in Blackpool, RP Davies' backyard. This is going to be a big one, man. Good luck, boys. Go out there and represent for the Marks. Get it done, and we'll see you guys on the pod here soon. All right, it's time to close the show. I want to thank Coastland. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off your order at coastlandapparel.com. Primo, tell us, where can you get the Sit Down Marks podcast?
Well, you can get the Sit Down Marks podcast for this weekend, next week on Twitch. Then thereafter, we will be moving to the YouTubes.
Very good. Yep.
The old YouTubes.
Then also on your ears, you can listen to us via Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and now on SportzWire Radio, live Fridays at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time, right before the
number one
Thomas Price #1 global sports broadcast show. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. If
That's
you
pretty
love
good,
the
Thomas.
pod.
I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
Nobody
Thomas,
does it better than you, but mine's pretty good.
That's right. You are the OG, and you gave us a shout out this week. We appreciate it. Much love.
I still suck at it.
That's all the places you get the pod. Make sure you share the pod with your friends. If you have any, I only have these two guys right here. So share with as many friends and family as you can. Give us a 5-star review. Download, subscribe, share. Also, Facebook podcast on there too.
All right. Let's get to the MMA weekend picks here, AJ. Coming into today, you were 12-14 overall. Now,
I had some.
Make you pick 5 fights. 2 of those fights got canceled, so you only ended up due to weight restrictions and that kind of stuff. So, out of 3 matches that you picked, you went 1-2.
God fucking.
You lost the main event, but you got your women's match right. But that brings you to a whopping 13-16 for the season so far.
What's Primo now?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good here. I'm gonna get to him here and say I'm feeling good here because I think you're turning the corner here, AJ. So let's go ahead and make your picks here.
Yes.
For this weekend coming up. All right, your first picks: Grant or Yanez?
Yanez.
Women's match: Wood versus Santos.
Santos.
Yaya versus Tang.
Don't even say the other one.
Chiesa versus Brady.
Brady.
And main event women's match: Vieira versus Tate.
Tate, because it sounded like taint when you said it.
All right, let's get to Primo, the MMA lock of the week coming into this week.
He was shaking his head, by the way.
Coming into this week, MMA lock of the week. Primo helping out all the gamblers out there. He was 1-0. Well, coming into tonight, he had picked Max Holloway to win the main event last week. Was he right?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Primo 2-0 in his MMA picks.
That's why I'm the champ, baby.
That's why he's the champ. Primo, you just heard these 5 bouts here for this main event coming up.
Yeah.
Who you got?
These are actually kind of hard, but I think
they weren't for me. I went through them real fast. It's easy. What are you talking about?
Yes, a lot of fights could go either way here. So Primo's going to give our gamblers the lock of the week.
I think I'm going to go with experience here, and I'm going to go with Misha Tate over Vera.
All right.
Yes.
There you go. Your MMA lock of the week from Primo. Misha Tate to take the main event there in the UFC.
35-year-old.
Yeah.
She's 35, and Ketlin Vieira is 30.
So we'll check back in there. So, all right, AJ, next week, what's going on the pod? We already know that the last Saturday night's main event, a guy named Maggle, going to be on the show.
Maggle. Brother is going to be back on the show.
Kevin from AEW is going to be with us.
Yeah. We are also
AAW.
AAW.
Don't get our fans that excited.
I know. Kevin from AEW.
Don't get me wrong. AAW is still legit, but
fucking awesome.
We're not having AEW on just yet, guys.
So
also it's our Survivor Series results and
no!
trophy presentations. Again, that box is on its way.
Still.
Yeah, and you mentioned our interview with Kevin, our interview with Brother.
Yep.
Well, not our interview. He'll
not
be on
an interview, but Michael's going to be back on the show. Interview with Kevin from AAW. The Windy City Classic is the Friday after Thanksgiving, and so he's going to be on the show to talk about that on Monday. So, but December is going to be big, boys.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We're moving to YouTube in December.
Moving to the YouTubes.
Making the move. Merry
Christmas
Christmas to all you.
What else you got here, boys?
So, also next week, Squared Circle Questions returns. After my dismal performance in music class, I'll see if I can defend at least one mid-card title. We'll see. Who knows?
Yep. It's a throuple match next week. Mike's in the game.
Yeah.
We're going to have a
brother
pie match.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, my God. Speaking of, I will be getting to...
You'll literally be there to hit the
I know, and I will be eating said pies during the pie match. So it's going to be fantastic.
Yep. All right.
Yes. Just a reminder, we will be on Monday due to
November 22nd.
Thanksgiving observance next week.
Yep. So we're going to give that one to you, so you'll have that one to listen to on the way to your family member's house that you hate so much in a couple states away. So you'll have something to listen to on the way there and back. For your Thanksgiving. 2 quick notes, guys. Big Beef versus Davey Richards is now on IWTV. Go check that out. Limitless Wrestling. And, like I said, we got big December coming up. We're going to end the year strong. Adam's coming back in December. We got a couple of Zawa live wrestlers. Hartenbauer is going to be on, man. It's going to be a big one, man. We got a really big surprise coming up for our Christmas episode. No spoilers, but we're bringing on somebody that's never been on the pod before. This wrestler is a very popular wrestler around the Midwest. Absolutely. So we'll keep that on wraps, and that's going to be a surprise coming up later. What do you say, Marks? Anything else here before we close the show? All right. Well, that is the end of the pod. AJ, take us home.
I want everyone to grab them cakes.